Across the UK, online and on DAB.
Take a far-out trip into the twilight zone of late-night radio with Iain Doo-Doo-Doo-Doo-Doo-Doo-Doo.
Unmissable late-night radio with the original king of unconventional conversation.
Make contact with Iain Lee.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
I'm furious. I'll tell you why I'm furious. By the way, can we make tonight a Bill Haley free zone? Is that possible to do that? It's been... Listen, Ofcom's come and go, guys. I've still not had one upheld against me, but thanks very much for trying, Dickweed. We know who you are. But who'd have thought the most contentious subject we could have on the show would be me saying that Bill Haley was rubbish? I'm saying this now. I am now being trolled online by boring, old, passive-aggressive men who are... One guy's even written a script for me. He says, I won't let this go until you say such and such. Don't tell me what to say. I will not be bullied on my Twitter page and on my Facebook page by old farts, because those are the people that are bullying me and trolling me. And then making up I've said something I haven't said. They're accusing me of being ignorant when their ignorance of the English language means they can't understand a simple post I've made. I'm drawing a line in the sand, and the line in the sand is I will engage no further online in discussions about Bill Haley. He doesn't he's not good enough. He's not important enough. He's a footnote in the vast book that is called The History of Rock, brackets, and Roll, and Pop and Soul. He is a footnote. He's barely a footnote. So I will no longer be engaging with old farts and sad sacks. There's an Elvis reference for you guys, if you're cool enough to spot it, online about this. If you send me anything to do with Bill Haley, you are trolling me, okay? You are trolling me, and I have mental health issues, and you are subhuman, okay? If you want to phone up and do it, that's a different thing altogether. It's a phone-in show. It's not a pen pal show. 0344 499 1000 is the phone number. But can we just please tonight, can we try and keep it Bill Haley free? There'll be no rocking around this clock tonight. Okay, so let's just put that to one side. Now, here's the thing I'm angry about, okay? We were watching, this is the Late Night Alternative, by the way. I'm Iain Lee, Catherine Boyle is here.
Hey.
We were watching Bear Grylls' Celebrity Island. Okay, now this is a show where celebrities, and I use that term loosely, although Mark Watson's on it, who's one of the funniest people, and Sharon Davis, Olympian. And so there are some good people on there, actually. And it's basically, celebrities get put on an island just off the coast of South America. It's near Panama. They have 3 days training by Bear Grylls on how to survive. And they are put on an island, I think it's for 4 weeks, with nothing apart from GoPro cameras, walkie-talkies, and a film crew. Apart from that, they have nothing. But they are taught in the 3-day intensive training with Bear Grylls. They are taught how to hunt, how to forage, to recognise what fruits and root vegetables are edible, how they can get water, how they can make fire, how to build shelter. So they're given all the training, okay? And they're left there, supposedly, for 4 weeks. Now, here's the thing, okay? You are told in the run-up to this show that's what it is. You say that you're told that there are no sort of restaurants on the island. It's a deserted island. You're told that you'll lose 2 to 3 stones in weight in the month that you are there. You are told in the weeks before it to eat as much as you can so you build up fat, so that when you're on the island you use up your reserves of fat. You are told it is not easy. You know you can only take 1 set of clothes with you, and you're paid approximately £50,000 for the pleasure of doing this, okay? Here's the thing. How do I know all this? because I was a standby contestant. I've mentioned this before. I was a standby contestant. And what that meant was, if anyone pulled out in the weeks prior to the show starting, if anyone changed their mind during the 3 days training, I would get a phone call. I'd hop on an aeroplane, flying first class, to Panama. I would have that training. I would take their place on the island. Suffice to say, I did not receive that call. I still received a few quid in my back pocket as a standby. I received £2,000 for not going on the island. Okay, let's put this out there. I received £2,000 for not going on the island. They received £50,000 for going on the island. Okay. Because that's the money that was offered to me. And I've been watching this, right? And so far, they've been on the island. This is all recorded a few months ago. So far in the TV series, they've been on the island for 14 days, okay? I think 3 of them have pulled out. AJ from Breaking Bad. Sharon Davis was pulling out. There was another one, wasn't there? There was another one, I think, right? They're pulling out. They're dropping like flies. And I'm sat there watching this thinking, Sharon Davis is going, this is she said, this is like being in a war zone without weapons. I'm thinking, no, it's not. It's like being on a deserted island, like you were told you were going to be by the producers who booked you for the show and who gave you a massive fact check to go on a deserted island. Don't do this. This is harder than we were told. No, I'm watching it thinking, that's easier than I was told, because at least twice they've called out the emergency rescue team. One, because some woman fell and bumped her head. All right, fair enough, get her checked over. The other one was because it had been raining and they couldn't start a fire. They couldn't start a fire. So after a week, so they called out the emergency rescue team who came and started a fire for them. I couldn't believe it. And I'm sat there watching it, and Catherine will bear witness to this. I'm effing and jeffing away, getting angrier and angrier, because let me tell you this, television producers, let me tell you this. If you'd hired me, if you'd paid me just shy of £50,000 to go on Bear Grylls Celebrity Island, not only would I stay on that island for the entire run, at the end of it, I would jokingly run away from the rescue boats and pretend I was going to stay on there even longer. Not only would I start arguments just for the sake of starting arguments because it makes good television, I'd also be out there hunting, fishing, moaning. You could film me pooing.
God.
I would also. Here's the thing, and this is the thing. And I asked the producer, "Am I allowed to do this?" They said, "Well, sure, you can if you want." I'd go and set up camp on my own. I would go solo. I would go and set up camp. I'd have a faux showbiz TV falling out, because it's all theatre. It's all pantomime, just like this is. It's all pantomime. I'd have a big falling out with Sharon Davis and the bloke from, what's the pop group is the man?
Rizzle Kicks.
Is that his name?
No.
It's a group, is it?
It's a two-man group, yeah.
I'd have a falling out with Rizzle or Kicks, I don't know which one, and I would say, right! Well, I'm going solo. And I would go off to the other side of the island and I'd build my little man's camp, and I would, for the benefit of the cameras, I would pretend to slowly, it would be a slow burn, it'd be over a period of 10 days, go absolutely flipping nuts. I would go nuts, and I would return to the camp after 10 days, smeared in my own faeces, which I would have allowed you to film me making. I would have smeared my body with it and turned up at the camp at midnight with a knife between my teeth.
Oh.
That would be television.
Did you tell them this in the interview?
Yes, I did.
For all of it?
Not the faeces, but right. I did say I was going to go and set up a camp on my own.
Okay.
I would have given you bang for your... I would have come off that island and you'd have said, Iain, we underpaid you. Here, take another 20 grand, because that was such good value. What I would not do is come off after 1 week because I felt everybody was annoying and not really mucking in. I wouldn't come off after 2 weeks because it was, quotes, like being in a war zone without any weapons. Well, it's not, because being in a war zone would imply there are people firing at you, and having no weapons means you've got no... There's no fighting going on. It's all in your head, Davis. It's all in your head, which is getting smaller by the moment. Please stop doing those medical procedures to your face. I would have given you bang for your buck. So when I'm a professional, okay? When I sit at home and I watch these... I can't even think of a word that I can sound. Tosspots. These tosspots on that island. Oh, I can't do it. Oh, I think I'm going to go home. What I would do, I'd smash the walkie-talkies up. Day one, I'd smash the walkie-talkies up. I'd say, right, nobody gets off this island until I say so. Caprice. And then we would stay on the island. And it would be a proper endurance experience. Instead, they might as well be on cheap. They might as well be on that for all the effort they're putting in, for all the hard work and the effort they put. I don't fancy it. I'm going to go now. Oh, can we go? I'm going to go. I'll go on Instagram and Snapchat. I'll get stuffed. Nuke that island. Start again with me. I'll be there, buddies. And I'm putting this out. If there are any producers of any reality TV shows, come and get me. Good value for money. I would give you great television entertainment. It would kick off. You would have the highest ratings you have ever seen in your lives. And I am furious that these absolute lunatics, losers, cretins are on this island, and they are letting down not only the television production company, not only the fine television channel button 4, Channel 4 I think it's called, they are letting down the viewers, and they are letting down this noble industry of has-beens who get paid money to go and humiliate and embarrass themselves. They are letting us all down, and I will not stand for it. OK, on with the show. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. Should be a lot of fun tonight. This is Talk Radio.
Uncut, after-hours conversation for the up-all-night generation.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee
on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. If you want to give us a call, you're more than welcome to. Just to say, you can call in about absolutely anything you want. We're not going to sit here and prescribe what the topics are, but you can call in about anything you fancy. We'll have a little look through the papers. There's some bits and pieces in the papers. We'll have a little look at that. Let's try, if we can, to avoid Bill Haley this evening. 0344 499 1000. Good evening, Jonathan.
Evening, Iain.
Yes, sir. What have you got for us tonight?
I'm a bit worried about the Fist of God.
About the Fist of God?
Yes.
Is that it sounds like a karate film, but I'm guessing it's not.
No, it's Donald Trump.
Okie dokie. Is this more Nostradamus predictions?
No.
Nope.
I'm concerned that the same thing that happened to Reagan and Thatcher is happening to Trump.
What was that? Being lampooned on the hilarious spitting image?
No, I think that his food is being poisoned.
Okie dokie. There's a whole world of weird in what you've just said. When was Thatcher's food poisoned?
Back in the late 80s through the early 90s.
Okie dokie. And she lived for so much longer after that.
Yeah, well, they're poisoning them with chemicals that give them dementia and Alzheimer's.
Right. Or maybe, here's a thing, maybe she just got dementia and Alzheimer's.
Maybe, but...
Yep.
That's
the more likely of the more likely of the two scenarios, right? So one scenario is she was poisoned over a period of years, which gave her dementia and Alzheimer's several years after that poisoning ended, or she naturally got dementia and Alzheimer's. I would kind of err on the second of those two options there, Jonathan. Unless you've got evidence that perhaps I haven't seen.
Well, apparently, according to Roger Stone, McMasters and Kelly are poisoning him in preparation for a coup.
I wish someone would poison Roger Stone. That man is an imbecile.
Well,
How can you believe anything? I watched a terrifying and upsetting documentary about Roger Stone. The man is a loon. He is a cretin. He is a self-publicist. That man will say anything he has to say to get himself in the papers. And he admits that himself. He admits that nearly everything he says is rubbish.
Well, speaking of things that were said and not said, one of your Twitter followers erroneously claimed that I was quoting the works of a dubious author when in fact I was talking about someone else.
Why don't you go and have that conversation with that Twitter follower? Because that's got absolutely nothing to do with me, and I'm really bored of Twitter at the moment. It's full of knob ends on there. You included, Catherine.
I prefer it on Gab.
Well, Gab,
so much more civilised.
Yeah, Gab went well, didn't it? Everyone jumped over to Gab when they realised it was just a right-wing cesspit of racists and idiots. Now, back to Margaret Thatcher being poisoned. Where's the evidence, Jonathan?
Howard Hughes and what's his name? Ian Collins have discussed it in the past.
Well, right, so Howard Hughes, a man that openly talks about moon bases on Mars and time travel as though people have actually done it, is not really the where to go if you want facts. That's an entertainment show. And Ian Collins is dead, isn't he? I thought Ian Collins had died.
No, he's still alive, unfortunately.
Well, Jonathan, thank you very much for that. Roger Stone is, was he Trump's publicist or something? There's a documentary about him on Netflix, and he really is an unpleasant sphincter of a human being. He's just a horrible, arrogant self-publicist that will do whatever he has to do to make himself look big and powerful. And if he's saying that Trump's being poisoned, then, God damn it, I have absolutely every reason to believe that Donald Trump is not being poisoned. That's how I'd see it. Isn't it interesting? Jonathan is becoming ever so slightly more unhinged with each call. We had a period of normality and civility, and with each call he's just becoming a little bit more snooker-loopy.
I think that's a bit unfair. I mean, it's perfectly normal to start a conversation with, I'm concerned about the fist of God.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. If you want to give us a call, you're more than welcome. Let's go to Eve.
Hi, Ian.
It's Eve! Hey! Hello, Eve.
Hi, Kath as well.
Hello.
And Abby Dolsey regarding Ofcom.
Yeah, for those, just we don't dwell on it too much, but an Ofcom complaint that got pretty close to the wind was about the call we took with, what was his name, Thomas?
Well, that wasn't his real name.
No, who was claiming, and I'm saying, putting these in inverted commas because we only have his word for it, but it was claiming he was a stalker, and someone complained they thought that was inappropriate to be broadcast on a late night show. And for a while, it was touch and go as to whether Ofcom would go along with that complaint. But I wrote them a very lengthy essay explaining why I thought it was really important that we'd taken that call and why it was important that we kept him on, and why it was the feedback we'd had from so many listeners saying that they were pleased that we'd tackled a subject that they feel even the police don't take seriously. And let's put our cards on the table. Eve also joined in and wrote us a little bit of backup. And your words were gratefully received, Eve.
Great stuff. I'm just really, really pleased. I've seen it today that, it's not been upheld. And that's right. Stalking's insidious.
Yep.
You dealt with it absolutely brilliantly. You were collecting evidence. You gave that to the agencies. Just well done, Ian. Really, really well done to you and Kath. And I'm so pleased that Ofcom have backed you up.
Thank you, Eve. Coming from you, that means a lot, and I appreciate that. It was touch and go for a while, this one. This was the closest one I've ever had, and but I think obviously we made a very strong argument that it was a very late night show, and we deal with issues that some people will find uncomfortable, and the gentleman in question was challenged thoroughly, so. And it is an important thing, because we've had you on talking about. Well, remind me the name of your organisation, because they got it wrong in the report, didn't they?
They certainly did. It's safe, but it's a safe protection service. They got us mixed up with the other service.
That's it.
But yeah, I mean, it was an absolute pleasure, to to help you and for the team to obviously get together and do the email, because, you know, it's an insidious crime. Yeah. 76% of women are murdered. No, it's not taken seriously. We know that from HMIC.
Well, as we found out, Eve, when we were waiting to speak to the coppers afterwards, they weren't taking it seriously. So exactly. it was. Do you know? I'm really pleased that me and Catherine, and we won't dwell on the Ofcom because I don't want to bang on about that, but the stalking in general. But I'm really pleased that afterwards we did wait to speak to the police, because we got the tiniest glimpse of how frustrating it must be for an actual victim of stalking to go to the police. We were so lucky that it wasn't happening to us, but even with what we had, they, for a week, 10 days, couldn't give us stuff. And that was frustrating for us. So it's literally the briefest glimpse as to what a victim must feel.
And that's the thing. Meanwhile, this is all being kept in the victim or the survivor's mind. You know, am I doing the right thing? Is there really anything to complain about? He's not actually done anything yet. Is he a threat? All this stuff we were wondering about. And imagine if it's happening to you, you know, or you've got your kids in bed upstairs and someone's behaving like that towards you. Incredible that it's not taken more seriously.
I know, and again, a lot of people have read the thing today and have said, you know, well done for talking about it, because it doesn't get talked about, and it is that thing, and I've been guilty of doing it, Eve. It's that thing of oh, you got a bit of a stalker there, and you wouldn't kind of joke, oh, you got a bit of a rapist there, you know. And I've got to learn to change my language, because I do make those lines even still, Eve, and as I do it, I think, oh no, actually that's inappropriate. So I need to learn and modify my behaviour a little bit.
The thing is, it's kind of happened to me. Well, it's happened to me.
Yeah, you had a bloke
standing outside work asking what colour hair I had, you know, and trying to send me presents and stuff. I say it kind of happened to me. It did happen to me. Yep. And you know, when you go to work and you're arriving at work, at that time I was arriving at work at 4:30 in the morning, it was constantly on my mind. And I was saying to the boss things like, I've got to walk down a really dark, unlit path there to get into the office. Can we do something about it? And it wasn't taken seriously because the guy hadn't done anything as far as she was concerned, and it was a female boss. I was really surprised about that. Mm. So it ended up that, you know, I was getting male members of my team to hang about for me, and we walked in together, and that made me feel pathetic. But at the same time, I couldn't carry on turning up to work wondering if someone was waiting for me, you know?
No. Well, it's not, you know, it's never ever the victim that is pathetic. It's never ever the victim's fault. It's always the stalker's fault. They're obsessive, they're fixated. They think that they've got a right to some sort of contact or relationship, and it's very, very scary. And it's it's happening the length and breadth of the UK, and it really, really needs tackling. We really need to reform the criminal justice system, and we really need to be dealing with these stalkers robustly. Yeah. And we're just not doing that. And you know, employees and employers can do a lot more about it. We need to be educating employers. We need to be educating everybody about this insidious crime.
Well, absolutely. And it's also, it was important, I think, for people who are going through it to hear it, to have what they are going through kind of validated. But also, I think for a lot of people, and I suspect for the guy who was like turning up outside work for me, didn't realise what he was doing was anything more than maybe romantic. I don't think he was doing it to frighten me, you know? And so I think sometimes a bell needs to ring inside the head of the person who's, you know, who might be doing it without realising.
Most definitely, because, you know, they're that fixated and obsessed, and they think that they've got that right to do that perhaps they're not thinking that, you know, I'm putting the absolute fear of God up this woman, up this man, you know, child, whatever. Because it can happen to anybody. I mean, it happens across the gender. It's not gender related at all. But yeah, you know, bloody well done for the way that you dealt with it. Absolutely stonking. And as I said, you know, when we did the interview back then, I don't think many presenters would have known how to deal with that.
Well, and I didn't. I didn't know how to. I was kind of whistling in the dark. And to be honest, Steve, the whole Ofcom around this. Normally, when we get complaints all the time, right? And I get told about it. Go, oh, that won't stick. That won't stick. And 20 years of being on the radio, I've never had one stick. And this one, because it was such a hot topic. I questioned, for a long time I was questioning, maybe did we do the right thing? Did I handle it right? Could I have handled it differently? And it really brought into doubt the way that I dealt with it. But they backed us up. Ofcom know what they're doing, and they backed us up, and we were right to do it. And thank you as always, Eve, for your support and for all the good work you do for this. And we'll keep talking about it because it's a rotten thing, and more people need to acknowledge that maybe they're doing it, maybe it's happening to them, or need to feel they can speak up about it.
Definitely. Well done.
Nice one, Eve.
Show, Ian.
Thank you. Cheers, my dears. Ta-ta.
All right.
Bye-bye.
See you soon. Bye, Kath.
Bye.
I like it when Eve calls. A, because I think she's fascinating, and B, you become more northern.
She sounds like my auntie, that's why.
Hey, all right, Eve. You're right, Eve. Hey, Mars bar.
Shut up.
Mars bar.
That was a secret I told you about Mars
when
bar.
your dad told you off because you said Mars bar and he sent you to elocution lessons?
He was threatening to. He never did.
Mars bar.
Mars bar.
Mars bar. 03... Thank you, Eve. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. If you want to give us a call, 30 minutes in, no mention of Hayley. This is good. No mention of Bill Hayley.
It then.
Well, I'm just thinking, this could be the night that we managed to shake free of that moon-faced pudding. 0344 499 1000. This is Talk Radio.
Unmissable late night radio with the original king of unconventional conversation.
Make contact with Iain. The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee
on Talk Radio.
0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. So excitingly, this Sunday, it is Sunday evening. It is the Rabbit Hole live in London at King's Place. Plenty of tickets left. We've got about 90 people coming. The place holds over 200. Holds 200. But so it's going to be a good old night. If you want tickets to come and see me and Catherine recording, probably about 3 podcasts we'll do. Basically, it's a phone-in show. We sit on the stage, people Skype in, they can watch us on Periscope and Skype in, and you can join in as well if you want. Or not join in if you don't want. You don't have to, but we will, if you want to join in, you're very welcome. There will be, I believe there's going to be a member of the team at the King's Place venue wandering around with a cordless microphone to pass to people. This is
magic.
This is excitement and professionalism that we've never come across for the Rabbit Hole podcast. This is insane.
Because last time when we were in Manchester, I nearly throttled someone with the microphone cable.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
If she hadn't moved, I would definitely have finished the job.
It is happening this Sunday. It's the only London show we're doing this year for the Rabbit Hole. I'm doing another show the week after. I'll tell you about that next week. It's the only London show we are doing. It is this Sunday. It is a laugh. You're very welcome to come along if you want tickets. I'll tweet the link in about 10 minutes in the next break. Or you just Google King's Place, Rabbit Hole. It'll come up. And afterwards, I think we're on 7 till 8:30 or 7:30 till 9. I think it's 7 to 8:30. So I'm guessing we probably won't have an interval. We'll just go straight through. And then afterwards, give us 10 minutes to unpack. Can you get them back? Give us 10 minutes to unpack and we'll pack up and put all our stuff away. And then we're going to go up to the bar. There'll be a little area of the bar cordoned off for us. And if you want pictures, if you want stuff signed, you just want to ask us questions about the radio, we will hang around. Can I just say, if you're wearing one of the Rabbit Hole T-shirts, you'll probably get your picture taken with us first. That's all I'm saying.
Is that right?
Yeah, well, come on, why not? If you're wearing a Rabbit Hole T-shirt, which you can get from balconyshirts.co.uk, if you're wearing one of those, I think there's a very strong chance you might push to the front of the queue. I think that's how that's going to work on Sunday. And why the hell wouldn't we? Why the hell wouldn't we? I've had too much decaffeinated coffee. It's making me very windy pops. Very, very windy pops. Big brother Sarah flogs her clobber and gets £5. Oh dear. Girls Aloud star Sarah Harding made hang on a minute. I like Sarah Harding because I met her years and years ago. She won't remember it. And she was absolutely delightful. It was a little bit flirtatious. And it was a night because I remember the next day there was a picture of her in the newspapers and she'd left the back of her skirt undone and her bum was on display. I'd missed that. Oh, come on now.
Come on.
I like
These
Sarah.
things don't happen by accident.
Girls Aloud star Sarah Harding made just £5 flogging her clothes online.
Was it a skirt with a faulty zip?
It's very easy. Here's the thing I've learned. It's very easy to be snide.
Yeah.
No. It takes a lot of skill to be kind.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Talk to me about Bill Haley.
Oh, he's just an absolute... He's got a balloon head. Celebrity Big Brother champ Sarah was said to be embarrassed at the amount people bid for her wardrobe. Here's the thing. I've got a lot of time for ex-pop stars because... What do you do? Nowadays, the last 15 years, it's become a little bit easier for ex-pop stars because there are things like The Jungle, Dancing on Ice, which they're bringing back, Big Brother. There are these avenues to go in. But before, if you were a British ex-pop star, maybe about 1% of them became TV presenters, and the rest... What do you do? And when you've been... And Girls Aloud were massive, right? For a couple of years, they were huge. I don't know if they had any hits in the States, but certainly in this country, they were massive. And to have that concentrated adulation and adoration directed at you like a laser beam, and then for it to go... That has got to be a big thing to deal with. Mm-hmm. That has got to mess with your head and with your soul. That really has. Let's go. Oh, he's gone. Can you get... What's wrong with this idiot? Jesus. It's only Paul from Stoke Poges, so it's not any great loss.
He's probably Googling Girls Aloud.
She listed 13 items from a £5 pair of jeans.
Oh, stop it, you
That's
pervert.
what people would have bought it for. That's what people would have bought it for. To a £2,000 designer gown on charity site... Now look up this site, please. Depop.
Oh.
Depop. I used to go to school with a kid called Depop. Depop Nish Patel.
www.depop.com.
Yep.
Sell with a snap, buy with a tap.
Okay.
Doesn't say anything about charity.
See if you can find some Sarah Harding clothes on there.
Search. Sarah Harding clothes.
Some of the posh frocks, all a size 6, have never even been worn. Oh, and that's why they didn't sell, because they've not been worn. You want her sweat. You want Harding's sweat. The sweat of Harding. What's this? A Mugler gown?
Moogler. Terry Moogler.
Okay, yep. A Mugler gown that she wore for the Batman film premiere failed to attract a single buyer. Can you find anything?
Well, there's things that she has worn, or things, but they're T-shirts, brand new, not being sold by her, sold by someone else, but alongside a photograph of her wearing something similar.
Type in find the Mugler gown, because it says here, Sarah wrote in the description for the black and white dress, and there's a picture of her wearing it. Hate seeing this one go. Will send with a signed photograph of me.
Mm.
The only item to sell was a crumpled pair of grey Topshop £5 jeans.
No.
An insider said, I'm smelling...
Yeah, I'm smelling bullshine.
An insider said it was something she was told about years ago. She was never that keen, but she thought she could raise a bit for charity. The singer, 35, is due to head to LA to relaunch her music career. I hate LA. You been to LA?
No, my sister tells me it's a soulless place where everyone seems nice, but they couldn't give a monkey's about you.
Every time I arrive in LA, my neck tenses. I remember having a terrible row with a cab firm. It's fun to book a cab because we had to go there. Get this, we had to go to LA for a mate's wedding. And guess where he lived? He lived round the corner from me in Muswell Hill. We had to fly to LA, right? Get this. And they expected a present. What? And here's
the presents is the present.
And here's the thing. They split up a couple of years later. Do you know what I mean? And here's the thing. This is the weirdest thing, right? My mate Steve got married to this lovely lady, and it didn't work out. And these things happen. Marriages don't work out. But we flew to LA. So I was flew to LA. He had...
What was his connection with LA?
She was American. She was from there.
Right, okay.
He had 5 best men.
Oh, they do. They have a lineup, don't they?
Yeah. And then he was one of my best mates, right? And then I can date it. It was almost 6 years, because it was just before my youngest was born. He vanished. And when I say vanished, I mean, he changed his number, He split up with his wife. He moved out. I've never seen him since. One of my best mates, one of my three best mates, there's Simon, Conan and Steve, was number 3. And he just completely disappeared. Not just out of my life, out of everyone's life. If it had just been me, I could have thought, well, okay, maybe. But out of everyone's life, no one knows where he is. No one knows what he's up. He's off doing plays and theatre and stuff, but doesn't speak. We were always round each other's houses, always playing a little bit of FIFA on the PlayStation.
You know, that's called ghosting.
What does that mean?
It means when someone completely disappears. It's a new way of dumping someone. So you go out on a couple of dates, and then you never hear from them again. There's no, I don't think this is working out. There's no, it's not me, it's you. You just never hear from them again.
But I had been friends with him for 20 years. For 20 years. We met at college. For 20 years, he was one of my... for about 15, 16, 17 of those, he was one of my best friends, right? So I'd known him for 20 years. And just before my youngest was born... He's never even seen my youngest. One of my best... He's just gone. So
you don't know where he is even now?
It was at Steve's flat that I bouldered in one night... at 1 o'clock in the morning, and there was a bloke in there threatening him with a rounder's bat.
Ah, that guy.
Yeah, that guy, right? And I stood by Steve as bloke came in, pretended he had a gun, and he pretended he had a gun. He just had his hand in his pocket. He was doing that, but we went along with it because he was scared. My mate, he's gone. No idea where he is. Don't know his phone number. Don't know where he lives.
Bet he's calling himself Esteban.
I bet he probably is now. I bet that's exactly what he's doing. It says on my screen, calls and hangs up. So let's see. Well, they've called.
Hi, it's Steve.
Hello, Steve? Hello. Come on, you can see this through. See it through to its natural conclusion. You normally hang up. You're well done. You've said something. You now stick with it, buddy. Stick with it. Let's do it. Let's do this little artsy. Let's play out this scene. Don't hang up. You can stay with us.
Excuse me.
I wish he'd hung up, actually. There, and he hung up. There you go. That was that.
Your wish is his command.
That was weird, isn't it? People are weird. 0344 499 1000. This is the Late Night Alternative. My name's Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee.
Unfiltered night talk with the original king of unconventional conversation on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. Let's go to Paul. Good evening, Paul.
Hello, it's Paul.
Hello. Yes, I know.
I'm that lunatic who rang up about your meditation on that your body only goes up to your belly button, and down to your toes. Yes.
If you say so, no.
Well, that's right. Well, you forgot. Right, it don't matter. Now, the spiritual part of your body, right, goes from.
What happened to the guy? Sorry to interrupt, Paul. Kath, what happened to the guy who before he was born could choose which planet he wanted to go to? There was a purple furry planet, and there was this one, and he chose this one.
I think he might have decided to go back to the purple planet because he disappeared.
That guy.
He rang us for a few weeks, didn't he? And then disappeared.
Teasing us with his.
Was it a Colin?
It was, yes, it may have been a Colin. Colin, if you're listening, we'd love to hear more of your stories. Anyway, Paul, yes.
Paul. Yeah. Anyway.
Yes.
Then it goes up in the spiritual part, right? From just above your willy, just above, to the bottom of your chin. Yeah?
What goes? Sorry, hang on. What goes from just above your willy to the bottom of your chin?
Yeah,
because that's where my willy goes.
Well, no, it's just above the willy. It's not where the willy is. Just
depends how big the willy is. What is it that's?
Sorry.
What is it that's between the top of the willy and the chin?
Yeah, well, I could be more accurate by one hand stretched out from your belly button, if you're in a standing position, right?
Yes, the handspan we would call it if we were measuring horses.
From your thumb to your little finger.
Yes, a handspan.
Yes.
But what are we talking about? What is this?
Well, it's a form of meditation that was put in my head by John Seames, or whatever it was.
John Seames?
Pardon?
What was the name you just said? John Seames?
No, put in meditation.
Yes.
Put into my head, yeah.
Yes, by?
I don't know. I don't know what it was. No. It was light and dark, it appeared.
Yeah.
And it put it in my head, right? And it goes from there right up to the bottom of you. That's it. But it's divided into 4 sections.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. There's an overlap, as I said, with your body. It ends at your belly button, and then it goes up to your lowest, the bottom of your rib cage from the belly button.
What does? I'm confused as to what does. A meditation?
Well, yeah, well, let me get to the top. But then to the your sternum, stand up, and the other one to the bottom, right?
Yeah, go on.
Now, in the middle, if you go to the middle of each section, that's where you would meditate in the spirit one.
Right,
yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm agreeing with you as though I understand what you're talking about when I haven't got the foggiest, but yes.
That's what you said last time, right?
And how are you today?
I'm all right. I had a terrible day, really.
Why have you had a terrible day? What's happened?
Well, I don't know. I went to get me food, right?
Yes.
From the place I will get me food.
Yes.
Which is just under. It's. Can I say Tesco's? Is that allowed?
I never understand why people don't think they're allowed to say shops on the radio. As long as you're not going to say Tesco's killed my mother or Asda is staffed by paedophiles, as long as you're not going to say something that is obviously litigiously questionable, yes, you can say Tesco. You can say you shop at Tesco, yes.
Yeah. But I don't want them to get in trouble or anything like that.
I will not get in trouble just because you've said Tesco, trust me.
Well, when I did my shopping, I also wanted to have my car. I've got my cards, that you put the machine, dialing your PIN, right? But I couldn't, and the money, It wouldn't give me any money. It'd buy me things, but it wouldn't give me any money.
Right. Well, that's frustrating.
Oh, now, is there a reason for that? That would be good.
Well, maybe you've got no money.
No, I have got money. There's money in there. I know that.
Yes.
Yeah. But is there a reason for why it wouldn't? It costs so low down the sequence of good cards that they're not allowed to do that.
No. No. Well, Paul, I appreciate you sharing that with us.
Yeah, that's all right. Don't forget the bit about the spirit.
Yep, the
top of your willy.
Top of your willy, yes.
Yeah, your belly button, one hand down.
What, your belly button and one hand down. Well, Paul, it's great talking to you. Thank you so much. Wowzers. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. Like I said, you can call in about anything. I've turned the lights off in the studio because it just feels like it's going to be one of those shows. It feels like it's going to be a dark show. I don't necessarily mean dark in a bad way. I just mean, dark as in nighttime. It just feels right that we should be doing this in darkness. So we'll see how we get on. Katie Price.
Yes.
Is she coming on the show?
No response from the Pricey.
Well, she's postponed her tour dates.
Her mum's not well.
Yes.
And she's getting divorced.
Yeah, but we also know that the tour was doing terribly.
Mm.
Some venues that could hold 2,000, she sold about 60. So one does have to wonder what's going on there. My mum is very ill, and I know that, but it's a condition, I believe, that she could be alive for another 3 or 4 years, I think, and she's postponed some of these tour dates by 2 months. And I just wonder, And I genuinely, I'm not saying this and I wonder. I genuinely wonder how that would benefit everybody. It just seems an odd. I don't know. According to the Daily Star, someone's just texted in. Does Anxious Man still call you? Here's an interesting thing. Anxious Man used to call me ages ago, and it was this kid who would play a clip of a Gorillaz song, and it would be all of which makes me unbearably anxious. No, all of which makes me anxious. At times unbearably so. And it became a meme before we really knew what memes were. And he would play it, and then other people. But as a kid, he was about 15, I think. And this was 10, 12 years ago. So he's nearly 30 now. And he would play it, and other people would play it, and people would play it at different speeds. And one of the best shows we did was the first call was all of which makes me anxious. And then the last call, just as the bed was going up to the news, an anonymous call came in, at times unbearably so. It was just wonderful. It was delicious. And I never met him. I think I saw him once. I think he was loitering outside the radio studio, sat on a biffa bin as I went to the car park at 1:00 in the morning. I think that was him, but never met him, as far as I'm aware. Certainly he never introduced himself to me as the Anxious Man. He became a bit annoying because then I remember doing other things that were quite annoying. And I haven't thought about him for ages and ages and ages. And just today, things pop into your head. This Anxious Man popped into my head, and I kind of went on a little rabbit hole in my mind, remembering some of the calls and just making up a little fantasy of what had happened to him over the last 12 years. But in answer to your question, texter, Anxious Man, does Anxious Man still call you? No.
And how does that make you feel?
At times unbearably so. Desperate Kate Price has joined a dating app in a bid to bag a young lover.
Again, she...
said he.
If I was her sister, I would say, do you know what, let's give it a rest for a while. And I mean the dating, not the...
I thought you meant the woo-woo.
Both.
She ditched her cheating third husband...
2 weeks ago.
Kieran Hayler last month, and does not want to waste any time in finding a new man.
This is the problem.
Can we find what dating app she's on? 'Cause I want to see the profile. It'll be Tinder, won't it? Is Katie Price on Tinder?
You can get like a VIP Tinder, can't you?
Wow. For my very important penis. Kate said, onwards and
very
upwards.
Very impatient penis.
The girls are telling me to... get on... Oh, hang on a second.
Oh, she's not.
Hang on a second.
Her friends are saying.
No. Hang on a second.
Go on.
Right, okay, so it's... I'm so naive. Okay, so it names a dating app, right? It's not Tinder. She's obviously being paid by them. I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb.
Let me just remove that fish hook from your mouth.
I'm so dumb. I fell for the Katie Price is sponsored by a company line. I fell for it. I stopped before I mentioned the name of the dating app, because it's one that no one's ever heard of. Of course she's not going to go on one that no one's ever heard of unless they are paying her $1. And good for that. Good for her. Kate said, onwards and upwards, the girls are telling me to get on. Gonna give it a go. It's my new approach, lol. Kiss, kiss.
Don't.
Oh, man alive. I almost fell for that, guys. Hook, line, and indeed a little bit of sinker. So I've signed up to this Shudder TV, and I started watching a movie last night. I got halfway through it, and I thought, I'm going to go to sleep now. The Devil's Rejects. It's kind of... It's kind of Texas Chainsaw Massacre for the 21st century, if they hadn't actually made a 21st century version of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's about an incestuous murdering family that go on a rampage and kill people in brutal, horrific ways.
Standard.
Yeah, it's standard. Directed by Rob Zombie. Got a lot of time for Rob Zombie.
Is that his real name?
Mm-hmm.
No.
But I got halfway through it, and I thought, if anyone's got any suggestions of any films I can watch on this channel, let me know. I want to go home tonight. I haven't got to be up so early tomorrow. I've not got to be somewhere until 5 o'clock. So I can go home. I can watch a good scary movie tonight. I want a really good. Scary. I just found myself watching this thinking, I've seen this all before. I've seen this all before. Dear listener, you can give us a call. The phone lines are empty at this precise second in time, so now would be a brilliant time to call. What we'll do is I'll give you the number now, so get a pen and paper. Then when we come back after 11 o'clock, we'll have a little recap of the things that we've talked about. Maybe they will tickle your fancy. Maybe you want to talk about something else. I'm really sorry. This decaffeinated coffee is making me very windy. Also, the tapas we had is, I think, repeating on me. We had some delicious tapas. I think I had my first prawn today.
Yeah.
But was it
was a langoustine.
But, is that a prawn?
Big prawn.
Very disappointing. Didn't like the texture at all.
His face, it was like giving a dog a caramel.
It was like chewing on a fishy bogey. But the phone number, guys, is 0344 499 1000. 0344 499 1000. It'll be free for most of you, pennies for some of you. You'll speak to Sam. He'll take your name and number and will call you straight back. Imagine, we can't make it any easier than that. This is a late night phone-in show where literally anything goes. 0344 499 1000, the late night alternative. My name is Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
He has made a covenant with the night, and with the darkness he is in agreement.
Uncut, after-hours conversation for the up-all-night generation.
The late night alternative with Iain Lee
on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
I'm just looking at this new Apple iPhone. Sweet Lord. Because they said, it's 1,100 quid, right, in the news. 1,100 quid it's £1,149, right? Which is odd, because in America, it's $1,149. In the UK, it's £1,149. Huh? I thought, that'd be the most expensive version. I bet there's a version for like 600 quid, right? No. The cheapest version is $999, which if you use the Apple conversion rate is £999. The cheapest version is £1,000 for the new iPhone. And listen to this brilliant line from Apple, right? Where is this line? Where is it? Basically, it's got facial recognition, so you look at it and it goes, this is... Here we go. The iPhone X is a long-term investment by Apple that sets a template for the next generation of iPhone hardware. You'll bring another one out in a year. You'll bring another one out in 18 months. That's what you always do. Here's the thing. I'm quite happy with my Apple iPhone 6S. I only bought that because the old Apple 5 I had was I smashed the screen and I took it to Dodge Pop McPhee to fix it, and he buggered it up even more. So instead of getting it repaired, I thought I might as well just go a few extra quid and buy one. This phone I've got now, Apple are bricking it, right? Because they know that everybody is happy with the iPhones and the Samsungs that they've got now. We don't need anything else. Internet is never going to be that much faster. So it's got wireless charging. That's fine. I've got a cable. So it's got longer lasting battery. Well, I've got an iPhone, so I know to always take a cable with me. It's got facial recognition. I don't need it. And you're going to charge £1,100 for that? For a slightly bigger... No, thank you. We're done. And the whole world is doing a big collective... you'll get those people who are socially awkward and terrible in groups that will camp outside the Apple store for 5 days because they are desperate to be the first people to get it. But no one... And if I see one being used in the office, let's have a look. Any good? Is it worth 1,200 quid? Nah, I didn't think so. I'm fine with this. I'm going to sit out the next few generations. And here's another thing I'm never going to do, right? I'm never, ever going to sign up to some poxy 18-month, 24-month contract with some rubbish mobile phone network and pay about an extra 600 quid on top of the phone price. That's what you end up paying. I remember when a phone contract was a year. was a year. I said 18 months, and you can't even get 18 months now. They're all 2 years because you're paying for the phone. But you pay about £600-700 more for the phone.
That's what I did with my last phone.
Yeah.
And I did the sums, and this time around I saved up, bought one outright, and I'm going to be quids in eventually.
I'm on GiftGaff, right? And there are loads of these networks. People go, you on GiftGaff for? That's for students. No. There are loads of these networks. That's the one I chose. But there are loads of them now that are independent, and I pay £15 a month, right? £15 a month, unlimited calls, unlimited text, and very, very rarely do I go over me data allowance. Very, very rarely, right? And that suits me. I was at one point paying something like £60 a month. £60 a month for a mobile phone.
And the thing is about GiftGaff, and not that we're not being paid by.
No. There's the thing. There's loads of these little companies out there that do it, and you can stop any time you want.
And these guys will tell you. I got a text message saying next time around I wouldn't buy such an expensive package. You don't need to put £10 on it, but £7 on it.
There's loads of them. Honestly, I looked at loads of them, and this is the one that worked for me. There'll be others that work for you. Go and have a look. £12 a month will probably do. I was paying over £60 a month at one point for a flipping phone contract. Are you nuts? Mm-hmm. Are you insane? Never again. Never happening again.
The thing that tore it for me was, one, doing the maths and realising how much more I was paying for that phone, which got dropped down the toilet, and you know, they get abused. You know, they start out as your treasured possessions, and they end up getting, you know, covered in filth and all sorts. Anyway, so I did the maths, but I also went with the same company and tried to ask them about getting a similar phone, you know, a new phone, and they were going to charge me even more. I'm saying I want to pay similar to what I'm paying now. No, I can't do that anymore.
No.
Oh, bye-bye then.
Yeah, honestly, this whole mobile phone, the networks, unless they're advertising with us, in which case they are excellent, the actual phones themselves, it's all a massive, massive con.
And the people that are getting exploited the most are kids.
No.
Yeah, they are. Young kids who think it's important to have a new phone every 18 months.
It's their parents that are getting exploited. No. I'm going to tell my kids that we're not buying into this nonsense. Here's the thing, mobile phone makers and networks. You are naked. I can see it. You have got no clothes on. Look at you guys. You are absolutely naked, and you've got tiny ding-dongs, and your bodies are unpleasant. I know we shouldn't body shame, but you guys are scumbags. You're the scum of the earth, and we are not going to take it anymore. I'm not falling for it anymore. Absolute nonsense. 03444991000. Let's go to Dom. Good evening, Dom.
We're not gonna take it. Yeah. Hello. All right.
What song was that?
Oh, I can't remember. Is it not the Ramones? We're not gonna take it anymore.
Because I'm thinking of We're Not Gonna Take It. Are there any others? Right, here we go. This is tonight's phone in. Songs that have got the phrase We're Not Gonna Take It. Right. So far, we've got We're Not Gonna Take It. Who's that by? Go on.
I don't know who yours is. I know who sung mine, but I don't know.
Whose is yours?
The lead singer's a guy called Dee Snider. He's got long hair and they've just done an acoustic version. Dead slowed down. And
who's Dee? I know that name. What is that?
I want to say Twisted Sister, but
yeah, Twisted Sister. Twisted Sister. All right. My one is, and you should be able to get it because I'm doing a really good impression. We're not gonna take it. I can sing more.
Yes, please.
We're not gonna take it. Never did and never will. Don't want no religion. And as far as we can tell. Who is it?
Are you being Daltrey?
Who is it?
Yeah, I was thinking that, but he sounds American.
Who is it?
Well, sometimes Daltrey does.
Who is it?
True.
I'm giving you the answer.
Who
is it?
Who
is it?
It's the Who.
It is the Who. It is the Who. So far, we've got... hang on a minute, that pen's dead. So far, we have got Twisted Sister and the Who that have got the lines in their song, We're Not Gonna Take It. Can we find... I bet Bill Haley hasn't done a song called We're Not Gonna Take It. He's like, I'll bend over, you put it anywhere you want.
Bill Haley.
0344 499 1000, please. Songs that have the phrase, We're Not Gonna... And I will accept going, although that would be posh. We're not gonna take it.
Would you accept I'm not going to take it?
Do you know what, Kath? I'm feeling generous. It's a Tuesday night. Yes, I bloody well would.
OK, there are the rules, my friends.
I'm not gonna take it anymore. What's that? Is that a song? That sounded like a song at the end. Anymore.
I can't think...
Someone I sung, but differently.
Oh, is it? Was I just singing yours back to you? Okay. Well,
that's why it sounded so familiar.
I do tend to parrot people. Dom, you've not called in for this fun phone-in, though. You've called in for something else.
I have, yeah. It's a guest idea, and I was watching a pop video today.
Yeah.
I really recommend you watch it as well. Breakaway by Tracy Ullman. She'd be a fantastic guest, I reckon.
She's Tracy Ullman. I think she would be a fantastic guest, actually.
Yeah,
Catherine,
just put a video on.
Here's the thing, you know, Tracy Ullman is a huge star in the United States.
Yeah,
massive.
That makes me think she wouldn't want to do a poxy little show like this.
Although she's been trying to get back in the scene here, hasn't she?
Let's get Tracy Ullman. Hey, guess who's coming on again in a month?
Matt, not Matt. Mark.
No, mate. We know we got your book. We'll sort that out. Jim Dale's coming back on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is it?
Jim Dale's coming back on. He just popped into our minds the other day. Kath sent an email. He's coming on next month. Beautiful, lovely Jim Dale, the show's very own Jim Dale. We can call him now.
Can I ask? Do us a favour. Can you do a pre-record and do it for about an hour? Because the amount of stories that guy has got.
Mate, listen. Do you want me to get him to sign something for you as well?
I've got every Carry On film.
There we go. Cut him off there. That's
cheek.
The cheek of it. The cheek of it. Jim's in New York, isn't he?
Yes. I do have his address, but I'm not going to divulge that.
Here's the thing. I've got a week off coming up. So tempted to ask Jim if... I've got a week off coming up, right? And I'm feeling lousy at the moment. What would be better than taking Jim Dale out for lunch and interviewing him over lunch? That's not so stupid, is it?
I'm sure he'd go out with you.
Not like that.
Oh, I'm sure he'd go to lunch with you.
That is ridiculous. I'm not flying to New York just to hang out with Jim Dale for an afternoon.
We can go and have a lazy lunch with Guttenberg again. Catch up with Bierko.
Maybe I miss Craig. Craig was over here the other week and I missed him. Maybe I go to New York and have lunch with Jim Dale. All right, that's just an idea. I'm just thinking out loud. Let's go to Paul in Stoke Poges. Evening, Paul.
Good evening.
You called and then you decided you didn't want to come on.
Yeah, I did earlier because I was
I'm still talking.
Going to talk about stalking.
Yeah, now you've I'm still talking. I haven't finished talking. So you called. You were going to come on, and then you bottled it, and now you've decided you're going to come back on again.
Yeah, because I'm talking about a different subject this time.
That's great. I always love to hear that warm, friendly tone in your voice. It's always nice to hear.
Thank you. I like to come across friendly and...
You always do.
I hope I do.
Yeah, always a really friendly, warm tone. It's like putting on a pair of comfortable slippers and putting your feet up on a big, comfy.
It's probably more like putting on a pair of clogs, isn't it?
No, it's like stretching out in front of an open fire after you've made love.
That's good. I'm glad I've done that for you.
Okay. Well done, Paul. Now, what would you?
Okay,
like to say?
I want to say you were talking about wireless chargers and things like that.
Were we?
You're talking about what phones and wireless chargers.
Just go along with him, Kath. It's easier. Yes, Paul.
Yes, you were. Okay. Well, what about
There's that lovely, friendly tone again. Yes, you are.
What about a charger that needs a charger?
Right. Can I? I'm going to make a request. Right. Don't phone up my show with jokes.
It's not a joke. It's serious. It's a serious thing, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's a bad stand-up routine. Listen, you can phone up James's show and do jokes, but here's the thing. Jokes make me very, very uncomfortable, all right?
No, it's not a joke.
Paul,
it's not a joke.
Paul, shut up and listen, dude, right? Jokes make me really, really uncomfortable because I think people that tell jokes that aren't on a stage in front of a couple of 100 people with a microphone, I think it's rude of them because it puts an unnecessary pressure on the person who is being told the joke to react in the way that society dictates is normal, and that's to go, yeah, I know what you mean, it's very good. And I can't do that. Paul, you're doing a bad stand-up routine from the 90s.
Okay, we're not going to take it.
Right. Paul, will you shut up and listen? You're so rude.
Sorry.
Jesus, shut up and listen.
You can be rude as well.
Will you just shut up? So can you promise not to phone my show up with jokes anymore. You phone James's up, phone the other shows up, that's their business. Please don't phone my show with jokes.
It wasn't a joke I was making.
Well, what was the point? Well, tell me. Okay, let's examine it. Right, you've asked for it, baby.
It's about the nonsense of modern technology, isn't it?
No, it's a joke because there's not a charger. You've got to plug in to charge.
No, I know, but
then why did you say it?
That'll be the next.
No,
thing,
it won't be.
It?
No, it won't be.
It's like where?
No,
okay,
no.
Right.
Why would they make a charger that you've got to plug in to charge?
Because it's.
They wouldn't. They wouldn't. They wouldn't do that.
Okay. They're gonna. It'll be happen soon.
No, it won't happen soon. Why would it? Why would an inventor go? I'm going to invent a charger that charges up charges. Why would you do that?
Okay, can I make the point?
Will you promise not to phone my show with jokes anymore?
Okay, it wasn't a joke.
Well, where was it? Wasn't a serious point.
It was a serious. Okay, can I make the point? One of the first calls I ever made to you.
I class that. I class that.
Avocado coffee.
I class.
Now they're making avocado coffee.
I class that as a joke. So log that into your mind files as a joke. And if you have anything that's remotely like that, don't phone up with it. Okay?
Fair
Agreed?
Enough.
Caprice?
I wasn't trying to make a joke, though.
Right, but everyone who's got half a brain would consider that to be a joke. So that now redirect your data banks to include what you've just said there under the heading jokes, okay? And then put that under the subheading, do not call Iain with one of these, okay?
I'm not trying to be Bob Monkhouse, for goodness sake.
I wish you were like Bob Monkhouse, like he is now.
Too soon.
Maybe I stole his joke book, eh?
What is that? What is that?
Yeah, it's a joke.
Stop it! You think you are Frankie Boyle? Frankie off the boil?
No, Frankie Boyle's rude.
You're rude!
No, but I don't tell rude jokes.
No, you've just got rude manners. I'd rather someone tell rude jokes and be very polite, like Frankie Boyle, who is very polite, than someone who tells unfunny jokes and has got no manners, like you.
Okay, just call me Mrs. Brown, then.
Why? Who's she?
Not funny.
No, she does obvious things, yeah. Or he.
We're not going to take it, Paul. Tell me about that.
I don't know. Okay. I don't know what to say.
You were going to talk about the. We're looking for songs that got the line. We're not going to take it. Tell me about
Twisted.
That.
It was Twisted Sister. DC Lee. Yeah.
DC Lee. Okay, Paul.
Okay.
Thanks.
And do you know who made it one of their songs as a campaign for their political thing?
No, I don't.
Donald Trump.
What are the odds? I'm betting I get an RC email from you before the end of the show. What do you reckon? Is that going to happen?
No. Yeah. I'm going to eat a lasagna and then meditate.
Thank you very much indeed. There's an evening for you. You can't meditate on a lasagna because your body. You can't meditate.
It's going to clog his chakras.
I made a great mistake of going to the Friends Meeting House near where I used to live, Quakers, because there was going to be a course of Buddhism. So you get, it's the weirdest thing. And I went to this thing and I sat there, and you just sat in this room. There were about 8 other people there, and then from out the back came this white English dude, but dressed up like a Buddhist, and he sat down and he was like speaking wise words, and then he said, "We're going to meditate," right? But first of all, I knew what was out the back there because it's where we used to take the kids to nursery, and out the back there is just like a little kitchenette. So he was in the kitchenette. What used to do in the kitchenette? So he's probably getting changed in there. So that's all I was thinking.
He might have been having a meditate.
And then I made the mistake of eating a bag of chips before we'd gone. So for the whole so what's this coming out? I couldn't. It was the worst thing ever. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. This is the Late Night Alternative. My name is Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio.
It's electric, it's eclectic, it's always rule-free. It's the Late Night Alternative with that man, Iain Lee. On Talk Radio.
0344 499 1000. Fiery tonight, feisty. very, very feisty. I was going to say I'd reset the show and let you know what we've talked about. We've talked about Bear Grylls' Celebrity Island, reality television, songs that have the line "We're not, I'm not gonna take it." So far, we've got Twisted Sister with did they say DC Lee and The Who. We've talked about Sarah Harding selling her clothes and not getting much money, what it's like to be an ex-pop star, lasagna and chakras, and a handspan above your willy. All of these things we've talked about, right? So hopefully new listeners and irregular listeners, you've got the idea. You can call in about absolutely anything you want. You'll get on. You'll speak to Sam. He's a nice lad. He won't even do the, what do you want to talk to Ian about? We don't do that on this show. It's just like, hello, Talk Radio? Yeah, what's your name? I'll give you a call back. That's it. There's no audition process. There's nothing. 0344 499 1000. Free for most of you. Pennies at the most. We call you back. Let's go to Gerry. Good evening, Gerry.
On my way out.
Gerry, you dying?
No.
What's wrong?
The drugs are wearing off.
The drugs are wearing off?
Yeah.
This is what you sound like when the drugs are wearing off. Wow.
Yeah, it cost me.
Hey.
About 2 songs will be...
You falling asleep, baby? You falling asleep, little baby?
Well, it's shutting down, my body shuts down.
Your body shuts down, little baby. But does your mind stay active?
Yeah.
So you wide awake?
Wide awake, my body shuts down.
But does it look like... Can I ask, because I'm just asking for a friend, does it look like you're dead?
Looks like I'm asleep.
Oh.
Keep asking me questions.
I just need...
Okay.
I just need to... I need to borrow someone that looks dead. But I won't...
What for?
There's nothing. So I'm not allowed to ask you questions?
The one around.
Oh, I like this, Gerry. I like the shutting down, Gerry.
It's called the frozen state. I call it.
Yeah. Yeah. So you could be lying there, and so what? Your body freezes.
Yeah, it just shuts down the body.
And this is because the drugs are wearing off.
Yeah.
I would have thought if the drugs had worn off, you'd have the shakes.
I don't get the shakes. Go solid.
Wow. So I could do anything to you, and you couldn't stop me. Oh, mate.
Well, interesting thing.
Yeah.
The reflexes still work.
Really?
There's certain things that make them catch them.
Do the reflexes still work? And this is a genuine question, right? And it sounds dumb, but often I learn the most from my dumb questions. Do the reflexes still work on a dead man?
I'm not dead yet.
No, I know. What is a reflex? What is it? Okay, we all know what it is. You cross your legs, the doctor hits you just below the knee, and your leg flies up, and it's great fun. I love it. It's
not electrical.
No, it can't be electrical. Oh, I'd never considered it to be that. I always thought it was pressure on a joint that was. I don't know what a reflex. Oh, this is good, Kath.
Is it to do with your nerves?
Is it nerves or is it muscular? Reflex. Oh, Gerry, you have opened up a horrible but yet fascinating can of worms. 0344 499 1000. What the hell is a reflex, and does a dead man have a reflex? That's a great one.
Well, we know one person who can answer that question, if only she's listening.
Who?
Storm.
Our undertaking friend.
I thought you meant David Badcock.
Habiba. Oh, God, I don't think any of his reflexes work, do they?
No.
Unless you plug it in.
Plug it in.
And suck it up.
What's the weather like up there? Because I tell you what, man, down here for the last 3 days it has been humid
and windy.
We haven't got the wind. Yeah. Oh, little baby. I like you like this. This is nice. This is
chilled out. It's
the side of Gerry we don't get to see.
Totally chilled out. So there's not any pain. It's just.
I can understand what you're saying very clearly as well.
Yeah, I'm chilled out.
I'm fascinated by the periods of when I can and when I can't understand you so well. And I hope you take that in the way I mean. I'm not, saying, gosh, you're a freak. I'm genuinely, as someone whose mum has got a similar condition with the MS, to your Parkinson's. It does fascinate me as to whether the combination of drugs and weather and climate and mental stability and rest as to when you can be understood better and when you can't. I want to conduct experiments on you, Gerry. I want to conduct experiments on Gerry while he is like this and while he cannot say no. I will strap him into the chair and I will administer a very powerful narcotic.
How do you feel about that? Are you a willing specimen, Gerry?
Always willing.
Yay. When you say you're going hard...
Yeah.
Is it?
Oh, stop.
No, again, another question. I honestly, if the whole body stiffens, does the whole body stiffen? You know, I'm fascinated by this.
The opposite happens.
Yes, yeah, I can understand it.
But when you're relaxing,
no.
Get very excited. It's weird. It's a complex disease.
Yeah, it's incredible. In Parkinson's... Where does it originate? Is it in the brain? It's the brain, isn't it?
Brain, deep in the brain.
And because again, it's very similar to MS. MS starts in the brain.
That's just can't get through. They're blocked. Gateways.
The blocks on the brain.
Gateways don't connect.
Yeah. Can they? Here's a fascinating thing, guys. An optician can often tell if you've got MS because they'll look in your eyes and they'll see like discs, white discs behind your eyes, and that's a symptom of MS. Is that the same for Parkinson's?
No, but I've got a misdiagnosed with Wilson's disease. And they've got through my eyes.
Yeah.
And they put copper rings in your eyes.
Copper rings in your eyes?
Yeah.
What does that do?
Your body can't disperse copper.
Oh.
I find it absolutely fascinating, you know, and it's these big diseases like Parkinson's and MS, and the treatment has come on leap years, even in the last 15 years, 20 years, they've come on leap years, but they're still miles away from cures for these things, and I find it incredible. The thing about MS, and I've not really followed the MS news for about the last 10 years since Mum went in the home, but for years and years and years, they're always saying we're about 2 years away from a cure. We're about 2 years away from a cure. And I think they're probably still about 2 years away from a cure, you know, and that was 20 odd years ago they were saying that.
Yeah, nothing. Drug I'm on, darling.
I suspect it won't be in our lifetime, unfortunately, Gerry.
No, because I need to, I'm a guilty conscience.
You've got a guilty... Hang on, you're about to confess to a murder. What, sorry, what?
Oh, no, I had to go to A&E the other day.
Why did you have to go to A&E?
Mum sprained my hand.
You fell over and sprained your hand? I hope you fell over and sprained your hand. I hope it was something else.
I was running down past him and wheeled.
Yeah.
I was facing the fire extinguisher.
You're a bit of a speed demon in that chair, aren't you?
Yeah, I've carried some fire. Like Ben Hur.
Oh, man. Well, Gerry, it's good to talk to you, man, and I hope you get some rest tonight.
Can I give you a ring, please?
Say it again, man.
I'll take some drugs.
Take some drugs, man.
I'll give you a ring when I get back in.
All right. Well, maybe we'll speak to you later on. Take care, fella.
It's
all right.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Isn't funny? Funny. I don't mean that in a pack. For those that don't know, Gerry's got Parkinson's. He's been calling us for ages. Been calling me for about 8 or 9 years. But I find them fascinating, partly because I'm terrified of getting MS or getting Parkinson's or getting something like that. Dementia, you know, I'd rather not. Genetically, I'm programmed to get it. My granddad had it, so genetically, there's a strong chance that I might. But at least with that, there is an element of being unaware of it for the most part. There are moments. I remember my granddad, when he was starting to go ill, said to my nan, "There's something's wrong with me, and what's wrong with me?" But with MS and with Parkinson's, you're aware of it. You're constantly aware of it, you know, and it's there, and it's. We're 2 years away from a cure, guys. We're 2 years away from a cure. That's what they kept saying. 0344 499 1000. This is Talk Radio.
Kick off your slippers. Don't go to bed. The party is just starting.
You can sleep when you're dead. The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Lots of I'm not talking about spontaneous movements after death, Rocky. Jesus! I'm talking about reflexes. I'm talking about when you cross your legs and you hit the knee. What is wrong with these people? And everybody who's saying, well, actually, there are chargers that you charge up. No, they're not. They're not. A juice cube is not a charger.
It's a battery.
It's a battery. The other, you can get all these little things. Actually, there are loads of people on Twitter. Actually, they're not.
Pendants, they are.
They're portable batteries. They're pendants. They're portable batteries. They're not chargers. It's not, jeez. What do you think I am? An idiot? What is this? Everyone, stop talking on Twitter. Phone up, you muppets. I'm in a bad mood with them tonight. That should get them calling in.
Yeah, they'll love that.
0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. Let's go to Lee. Good evening, Lee.
Hi, Ian. Hi, Cass.
Hello.
Hello, Lee.
Hello. Okay, so spontaneous question.
Yes.
A couple of years ago, driving to work, and there was a radio DJ, and he said, if there was anything you could ask your pet, you've only got 1 minute to do it in their whole life. What is it you'd ask them? So, you got your pet might live for 15 years, you've had it since a puppy or a kitten or a gerbil or whatnot, and then for one chance in your life, you have 1 minute to talk to your pet in whatever given language you talk in.
I speak in English.
Exactly, or Chinese or Japanese or whatever.
Yeah.
You have one thing to ask them. What would be your question?
Lick this.
What?
Sorry?
It's not a question, that's a demand.
Okay. Would you lick this?
Oh. She'd say what again?
Are you happy with us?
I love it that you said that, because I've asked loads of people and they've gone lots of different answers, but that was my favourite question.
Are you happy with us?
What's your favourite food? Do you like going out in the rain?
What's your favourite
food? Do you
food?
want a raincoat?
Dog food. To the cat, I'd have a much better conversation with the cat.
She's seen it all, hasn't she?
Yeah, she's seen it all. The dog, I'd just be like,
this isn't working, is it?
Yeah.
That'd be your
Is that
question.
bed all right? Are you allergic to feathers?
Sorry?
Well, is it a down quilt you have the dog in the bed? I don't know. I'm just
dog doesn't get on my flipping bed. Not a chance, dirty beast. The cat does, dirty beast. What would... You haven't got any pets, have you, Kath?
No, I used to have a goldfish. I would ask whether it hurt when my mum operated on the kitchen table on it. I think it probably did.
Is your mum a vet, Kath?
No, but she had some tweezers.
Was it a splinter?
No, it was like a little... It had like a parasite thing hanging out of it, so Mum whipped it out.
Like a little tick? Like a little tick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a goldfish.
You're supposed to give them peas.
No, that's if their swim bladder goes.
Oh, yeah. That was it.
The other question that I'd like to ask young Kath is, Halloween is approaching fast.
Young Kath.
And will you be going to a haunted pub or haunted hotel somewhere around the UK and broadcasting a live show, which would be really wicked? I'd love to come along.
Well, suggest one and we might think about it.
Clock Hill. Clock Hill in Bedfordshire. Apparently it's the most haunted place.
That church?
In the UK.
Right.
Yeah, Clock Hill.
Have you been there?
Yeah, I have. I don't live far from it. I've been there as a child. It's creepy, but probably because I'd heard all the gossip behind it.
I've been there too.
I live in Bedfordshire. Oh, have you?
Yeah, because I live quite near that as well. It's covered in graffiti now, and there's all kinds of stories about there being black masses and stuff.
Yeah, like the graffiti on the church I find weird and quite unnerving anyway. But I don't know, maybe do something around there, or we could put a tent up or do something. I'm a caterer. I could put on hot dogs or make an evening of it.
A party?
Yeah.
Might scare the ghosts away.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Do you know what? It's certainly worth looking into.
Yeah, and actually, time's ticking away. If we need some suggestions.
Here's the thing as well.
Yeah, because they made a film about it. I think. I think I saw it on Netflix. Clock Hill and
Gosh, it must
Ghost
be
Investigators.
There is we're going to Hull at the end of the month, and we want to do the show from someone's the radio show from someone's house or some apartment or somewhere in Hull. We'll talk about that tomorrow, maybe.
Okay, shout out Hull.
Show
from
out
Bedfordshire.
Of Hull. What? Yeah, that'll do. Well, thanks for that, Lee.
Thank you, Ian.
There we go. That was an awkward ending, wasn't it? To nick somebody else's line from another radio show. If you build it, they will come. Good evening, Habiba.
Good evening, guys. How are you?
Habiba, the very person.
I heard.
Do dead people have reflexes? I.e., if you sat a dead man in a chair and crossed his legs and then hit him just below the knee with those little hammers, would you've never done it?
No, how would you sit? I don't sit dead people in a chair.
Oh, come on! Surely you've had a dinner party.
One that we did pick up, who died while playing a PlayStation, and he was in that position.
Well, was it? Come on, you must have just rolled up his trouser leg and given him a little tap.
No, he wasn't in the best condition by the time he was found.
Oh dear.
May I ask?
No, but you do get death erections.
Sorry.
You do get death erections.
Oh, I thought you said resurrections. I was like, what?
No.
Go on. Yes, I'm well aware of this.
Therefore, I'm thinking that maybe, I'm not a doctor, but maybe...
You could pleasure a dead man.
What? No. You
that escalated quickly,
do a
didn't
reflex.
It? Yes. Well, an erection isn't a reflex. It's not like it's seen a sexy ghost.
No, but don't you need a rush of blood?
Well, no, I don't...
The muscle or the nerve or something.
Well, to get an erection...
no, not to get an erection, to get a reflex.
Well, no, I don't. But the erection of a dead man isn't a rush of blood, isn't it? Isn't it the blood sort of getting trapped?
Yeah, it often happens if someone has taken their own life, been hung, something like that.
Well, it's a known thing, and I'm not saying this to be flippant. The French have a phrase for it, and I can never remember what the French phrase is. But there are people who are hanged.
Hanged?
Yep, that's it.
They might be hung.
Men who are hanged often ejaculate.
Yep. And it's ejaculate.
No. It's honestly, I swear on my life, I'm not. This is another Ofcom, but this is actually true. And the French have there was kind of sort of a myth, but a story that by French gallows, although they tended to chop people's head off, but by gallows in France, there would be snowdrops underneath the gallows, and they would the line was that they had been fertilised by the ejaculate of the hangman. This isn't. I'm not even doing the thing. This is true because and I don't know why, but I do know that some people use that kind of technique in adult, very dangerous...
Yes, games.
Very dangerous, strange games. They use that kind of thing. So there must be something, and I'm not in any way suggesting anyone try it, for God's sake, please don't, but there must be something about the lack of breath that creates... the lack of oxygen that creates a physical arousal.
And the other thing is, because we know that you've got the death poo and the death wee,
yes,
which are controlled by muscles...
And now the death jizz.
Yes, we need to figure out whether a reflex is caused by a muscle or not. Because if it's a muscle, then we know that they relax.
That they completely let go.
Yeah, they completely let go.
I don't think a reflex... I love it when they test my reflex. It just makes me so happy to be alive. I want one of those little hammers, those little round reflex hammers. Aren't they wonderful? I'd be doing it all the time.
Well, I won't be trying it out. I cannot do an experiment on this for you, I'm afraid, Ian.
Not even if I gave you 20 quid?
No, but what I will do is I shall ask some of my naughty friends in the London hospitals and stuff, and I shall get back to you.
Nice one, Habiba. Always good to talk to you, mate.
Take care, my darling.
Cheers, ta-ta. Where are the other reflexes on the body, then? They do one in your arm, don't they? I've had one done on the arm.
Isn't it the inner part of your elbow there?
I'm
not sure.
I don't know. It's in my arm. I don't know what's going on. 03444991000. This is the late night alternative. My name is Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio.
Set free your mind. Let your fancy take flight. Conversation gets curiouser by the glow of moonlight.
The late night alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Well, this show really is all over the shop this evening, and I love it. This is what a late night radio should be: absolute randomness, weirdness, and a little bit of naughtiness. 0344 499 1000. Good evening, Cristiano.
Hi, how you doing?
Good, thank you, mate. What you got for us?
Well, I rang up for something, but I've been on hold and got a little bit confused with what I rang up for anyway. Dogs, you don't need them to talk because they're a bit of an open book, aren't they? They say exactly what they're saying. I'd like to talk to a cat, if I could. 10 minutes, don't know what I'd ask it. But the reason I rang for is...
You want to talk to a cat for 10 minutes? Say you want to talk to a cat for 10 minutes?
Dish. Yeah.
What, for 10 minutes? What are you going to say? What are you going to say to a cat for 10 minutes?
Hello, cat. How are you? Do you want me to go on for 10 minutes?
The cat would say no. You know what cats are like.
I'd say, what does your bum taste of? That's what I'd say.
What's so good about it?
They're always licking it.
Oh, I love a bit of cat bum.
Oh, get me that clip. I want that clip, please. I want that clip of Cristiano saying, I love a bit of cat bum.
0344 499 1000. This is the cat bum line. We got Kath and Ian, cat bum Lee.
Yeah, okay. Right.
To answer your call.
Beautiful. So, what was the point? Yes. What was the thing you actually called in for?
It was the Canadian national dish. Somebody's asked me to help them with their food needs, and they've asked me for the Canadian national dish, and there ain't one.
Have you got Google?
Google it then.
You Google it.
Yeah, you're so clever. Google it.
All right.
You're not allowed maple syrup.
Why?
Or Putin.
What?
Putin?
Yeah, if you Google any other national... France, snails. Britain, fish and chips. Russia, borscht. Canada.
Canada?
Oh, sorry.
Poutine. Poutine, it says here.
No, that's Ireland.
No, that's poutine.
Oh, that's the awful potato whiskey.
Poutine
exactly.
Is a Quebecois dish popular across Canada.
Poutine.
Cristiano's not interested in listening.
No.
Hang on a second. Hang on a second. Sorry, Cristiano, I think I found the answer. I think this is it.
My name's David Babcock, and I got Hoover stuck on me knob.
No, sorry, it was something else. I do apologise. Carry on.
Anyway.
Why are you so interested in Canada's national dish?
Because somebody's paying me a load of money to make them basically, they've got a company. The company has got Japan, America, England, Ireland. I'm down with all their dishes.
Yeah.
Canada, stumped. Mounties.
Moose.
I don't eat them.
Moose steak.
Super moose.
What about butter tarts?
Super moose, flipping it, man.
Super moose.
I do remember super moose. Horrible little pots of brown gunk. They were disgusting. Super moose. You just do a moose steak or an elk. Get an elk. Get an elk steak. Go to your local butchers. They'll do moose, won't they? You can buy moose over here, can't you?
I don't think elk's Canadian.
Well, just get a steak.
Where are these people from, anyway?
Milton Keynes.
All right, well, give them a bag of chips and put a maple leaf on it. They won't know any different.
Bag of concrete cows.
That'll do it. Well, I hope we helped with you, Cristiano.
I don't think we did.
No, not at all. I've got...
Butter tart. It's a small pastry tart, highly regarded in Canadian cuisine. Considered one of Canada's quintessential desserts. I'm hungry again.
We found this great tapas restaurant. It's about 7 minutes away, but just down this little side street. And we found it last week and went there. And then we went this week. It was heaving. But, oh, God, that beef. next time I'm going to go in, I'm just going to order 4 bowls of the beef. It was out of this world. I was a little bit disappointed by the cheese board, if I'm honest. A little bit disappointed.
Well, Spanish cheese ain't best, is
But
it, really?
I enjoyed it, but I've done it. We've done that, but oh man, alive! Oh, that place. And I hadn't eaten all day. Literally, the first thing I ate was at 6 o'clock when we went there, and that's my meal for the day, guys. But it was out of this world. What they do to that beef?
But you weren't impressed with the prawns, were you?
No, they were just like, it was like eating. I tell you the texture. It was the texture of a hard-boiled egg. That was the texture.
Okay,
of it, wasn't it?
A bit.
Yeah.
A bit.
Got some bad news, guys.
Oh.
They found a lost episode of Only Fools and Horses. TV viewers are to get their first glimpse of a lost episode of Only Fools and Horses. The show, filmed in 1984 and titled Licence to Drill, is said to have lain... Oh, look, the way they've written lain, it looks like Iain, the way I spell it. On a shelf for years. It features actor Leonard Pearce's final appearance as Grandad before his death, aged 6. He was only 69 when he died. Flipping it. All right, Del boy. All right, Rod. Be a good boy, Rodney. Here, Rodney. Be a good boy for your Uncle Albert. All right, Uncle Albert. All right, Grandad. Well, you're dead. So they never appeared at the same time, did they?
No, because they were too similar. They both looked like Father Christmas.
No, Grandad didn't.
Didn't he?
No, Grandad just had a moustache.
Oh.
All right, Del boy. All right, Rodney. Go and get us some smokes, Rodney. It's like, that's not a bad impression, actually.
That's very good.
The episode sees Wheeler Dealer Del Boy, played by Sir David Jason.
In case we'd forgotten.
Buy an oil rig for a bargain £400 in a get-rich-quick scheme. Those trotters up to their usual shenanigans. He is convinced the drill will make him and his family a fortune in the coveted black gold. He tells them, we just lay low in our boat for a while and wait for one of the big oil companies to move off the oil field. Then we whip in a bit lively and use their oil. But unfortunately for Del and brother Rodney, actor Nicholas Lyndhurst...
In case we'd forgotten.
Not giving the ages of Nicholas and Del Boy. They soon realise there is not much use for the rig where they live in Peckham, and it dawns on them they've been conned. The missing episode was produced by Maureen... I knew it! And I was going to say at the start, and I thought, no, I won't. It's not a real episode. I knew it. I knew it'd be a paid-for... I knew it. I was reading this and thinking, it's not... Why would they have filmed an episode and not put it out? Especially if it's the last episode filmed with it. It must have been a paid-for episode. Oh, no.
It's the second time tonight, Iain. Are you all right?
Here we go. The missing episode was produced by the Maureen Oilfield Consortium.
Maureen?
And made it... Oh... This is such a con. And made exclusively for British schools...
What?
...to teach youngsters about crude oil and the items that can be mass-produced using it. So, here we go. Lost Del Boy episode. It's not lost. It was shown at schools as an educational tool because that's what it was. Scenes from Licence to Drill will be aired in the final episode of the story of Only Fools and Horses. Oh, Jesus, God. Help me. Here we go. I thought this woman was dead.
Which?
Vera Duckworth.
Well, Vera's dead.
Yeah, I thought...
but Liz Dawn isn't well.
No, she's on the mend. Good for her. But I thought she died. I know Bill Tarmy died, didn't he? Was it Bill Tarmy?
Yeah.
He died. I liked him. It'd be nice to have interviewed Bill Tarmy. I always liked Bill Tarmy.
He was an old cabaret singer, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. You'd see him on some of those variety, like Des O'Connor, belting out a few of the songs like that.
She's got a pub.
Has she?
Mm-hmm. The Grapes.
Because she never got the Rovers, did she?
No, never.
Corrie star Liz Dawn is on the mend after having a new pacemaker fitted and could be out of hospital next week. Good for her. The 77-year-old, who... I bet you can do a good Vera Duckworth. Go
Hang on.
I bet you can do it. Go on, you can do this.
Oh, I'll swing for you, Jack!
There we go. Yeah, that's not bad.
That was more like Jack, though, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Bloody Vera.
The 77-year-old who played Vera Duckworth is getting stronger after treatment at Wythenshawe Hospital, Greater Manchester. A source said the family were very worried about her for the past few days, but things seem to be on the up.
Good.
It's a long shot. See if we can get her for an interview. I'd love to chat to her.
Should we wait till she's out of hospital?
Yeah, but mark it down as we'd love to. We'd love to. I'd love to. I'd love to. Stories she can tell. I mean, how long was she in Coronation Street for? Years.
Mm-hmm.
Forever. Absolutely forever. Love to chat to her. Can't believe we've got Jim Dale coming back on. What a thrill. How lovely. It's so good that he must have enjoyed it so much that he said he's happy to come on and just chew the fat.
He had a whale of a time, and I made a CD for his brother, who keeps everything he does.
His brother keeps, what's the word I'm looking for? Not a museum, but he's like a
chronicler.
Yeah, I was going to say that he's like the gatekeeper of his history, but that's not a sentence. It's not even a sentence. His brother is the gatekeeper of his history. It's the closest I can get.
Kind of his biographer, isn't he?
No, he's
custodian.
We're getting there. A custodian of his history. Why can't I put it? Basically, he collects all the bits and pieces in newspapers, cuttings about him and stuff. I'm having so much difficulty saying it.
Dom on Twitter. That was more like Phyllis. No, I'll tell you what's more like Phyllis.
Oh, Percy, love, you're a lovely fella.
Oh, Percy, love, let me sit on your lap.
Actually, I'm getting a bit of a sore throat, and that's when I start sounding like, what's her name, Deirdre.
Oh, she's another one who we lost, didn't we?
I know, yeah.
Another one we lost. Hey. Dan, stay there. I'm going to come to you after the news. Well, if you've just tuned in for the first time, you're wondering, what the hell is this show about? Honestly, I can't tell you. Even by our standards, tonight is pretty weird. Pretty weird. What I do like is, over the last couple of weeks, we're getting more and more random callers, more new voices, which is great. And I love all the regulars. Thank you. But by having so many different voices, it gives me more tools to play with.
Not that you're tools.
There we go. But it really is just, and maybe it's because winter is approaching, it's starting to turn into a very 90s late night radio show, and I couldn't be happier. Will tonight be the first night we have a lock-in and go on past 1 o'clock? We just don't know. We kind of lost steam a little bit in the last half hour last night, so we'll see. I think we'll need a few more calls to kind of bump us over, but we'll see what happens. Dan's going to be in the next call after midnight. You could be after him. The phone number is 0344 499 1000. My name is Iain Lee. This is the Late Night Alternative, only on Talk Radio.
Talk Radio.
Suddenly we've got a rush of calls. I just looked away for a second. 0344 499 1000 is the phone number. If you've just tuned in, this has been the highlight of the show so far.
Oh, I love a bit of cat and bum.
Can we beat that? Let's find out after midnight.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
The wild man of late night radio, Iain Lee.
Differently interesting nocturnal emissions from a legend of late night radio. On air and off the leash.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee.
On Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
My name's David Babcock, and I got Hoover stuck on my knob.
Oh, I love a bit of cat and bum.
That's the show, 0344 499 1000. We've talked about absolutely everything under the sun. Dead men's erections, talking to animals, celebrities on an island. That's pretty much it, isn't it, I think?
Oh, we had some meditation tips.
Yes, we did. It really is. I've got no idea what's going on. I've lost control of the show, guys. You can call in about anything you want. If you want to call in and tell us the show is rubbish, you can do that as well. We've got loads of calls lined up. Let's go to Dan. Evening, Dan.
Licence to drill is a load of old rubbish.
Oh.
Yeah. And I don't know why they're showing off that, we're going to show this on Gold. Gold isn't even a good channel anymore. It doesn't show any archive stuff. It's rubbish.
I don't know what button Gold is on the television.
Oh, no one cares anymore.
Oh.
It only shows stuff that was on BBC One last week.
So it's not a lost episode. It's an episode they made for schools. So I'm guessing there'll be a lot of science in there and not much comedy.
It's very easily watchable online and has been for about 15 years.
Oh.
There's probably about 10 minutes of comedy and 10 minutes of documentary, which is, it's got that horrible framing device. Oh, look, Rodney, you watch this on the telly. It's about oil rigs, and then you get a droning man with a Peanuts voice teacher talking about oil rigs and that rubbish.
Here's the thing, though. I never got Fools and Horses. I don't get it. I think it's. I know people go, "Oh, you're saying that just to be controversial." I'm not. I've never got it. I've never watched it.
It's all right.
I dreaded it when it came on.
It was all right. It was better than Dad's Army, which I never got.
I liked the man who always calls Rodney Dave. I thought that was a very, very funny thing to do. Do that for years. All right, Dave. I like that, but the rest of it, nah, not bothered.
The key is, if it's a 30-minute episode, it's probably going to be funny. If Cassandra's in it, you might as well switch off.
There was the Christmas specials as well, The Law of Diminishing Returns, where they went to Miami one day and George Hamilton was in it. And oh dear, no. There's no need for any of that.
You know what they should show on the telly instead?
Yeah, go on.
The Lost Blackadder episode.
Was that the one that was at the Millennium Dome?
No.
Oh.
Because that wasn't funny.
No.
The pilot episode, where Blackadder was stupid, Baldrick was clever, and the king was played by Fred out of Coronation Street.
The whole first series of Blackadder wasn't funny, though.
Well, had Peter Cook in it.
Yeah, Peter Cook did a load of rubbish in the 80s. Peter Cook talks golf balls. You seen that?
No.
Yeah, exactly. I bought that on VHS. It's Peter Cook talking about golf and not being funny.
I bought Chris Barry's Motoring Wheel Nuts on VHS.
My mate had Danny Baker's Own Goals and Gaffs. That was actually quite funny.
I bought Danny Baker's book, the one about football. I don't like football, but I bought it in Poundland.
Do you remember Danny Baker did a brilliant series on the TV where they commentated on Sunday Pub League? So they'd go and film Sunday Pub League, but treat it absolutely seriously, and he would do the commentary for it. And it was, because it's all these, fat blokes, and, there'd be a couple of teams where they, fit and they were up for it. Mainly it was just, fat blokes, and they'd stop and they'd have a fag and stuff. And he would commentate on it, and it was brilliant, like park football. It was superb.
Was this late night in bed with me dinner type slot?
Yes, it was. Here's the thing. I haven't got round to rewatching In Bed With Me Dinner hosted by Talk Radio's very own Bob Mills, a man who refuses to come on this show. I wonder if it stands the test of time.
I watched a couple of episodes a couple of years ago. Of course it stands the test of time. It's just watching archive clips and laughing at them.
But that was a couple of years ago. So it stood that test of time. But will it stand the new test of time, which is even tougher, I hear?
But now it's doubly funny, because now we're laughing at Bob Mills doing an Avengers parody, because that was funny 20 years ago. It's now funny to watch someone doing a parody of something that happened 20 years before that.
Very meta. Catherine?
Isn't it easier to get an A-star these days?
Yeah.
In the test of time.
That's the A-levels of time.
Dan? You see, we put Me Dinner on a pedestal because it was up against Gary Bushell on the Box.
Thank you very much. It was, yes, indeed. The running gag on Gary Bushell on the Box was, I can't remember her name. Was it Geeta from EastEnders?
Mm-hmm.
Geeta was always scurrying around behind the sofa. Geeta, will you bloody get out from behind my sofa? Gary Bushell. Gary, show us the tattoos on your arm. Let's see what you've got tattooed on your arm, Gary. Oh, long sleeve shirts, Gary, is it? That's interesting. Let's go to James. Good evening, James.
Hello, Ian.
Hello, James.
Right, are you ready for another episode of
Mind the Gap?
Guess the Gap.
Oh. Okay, with your thing it says Mind the Gap, but okay.
Well, Mind the Gap, guess the gap.
So this is where you get a gap from a popular song, and we have to guess what the song is. Now, last time you did it,
it was
episode
the drone
1,
from I'm Not in Love.
Yeah, there was no gap. It was you actually played a bit of a song. So this time, are you going to play us the gap?
Controversial. Well, it was a controversial gap. But
no,
it was a gap nonetheless.
No, it wasn't. There was music playing.
Okay, well, I think I've got it this time.
Okay, it's not that difficult to get. It's not like a trick concept.
Okay, here we go. That's a gap, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but we couldn't...
Is that the end of a song?
No, it starts up again.
Right, so just play it again.
Right.
If that is Bill Haley, I'm going to come round there and I'm going to shove a Bill Haley, life-size figure of Bill Haley up your backside.
Is it?
This is not.
Is it Kate Bush?
No. I've got a good gap. This is a good gap.
Well, no, we
just can't hear it very well. It sounded like it's alive. It's coming through the trees.
It's very low quality.
All right, one more time, and then you can concede.
Well.
Okay, I concede.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right. Yeah,
but what was that bit that you played us? Because that didn't sound like...
That was that bit. But here's the thing, right? When you listen back to this, James, and you're stroking one out, thinking you've gotten over on us, we can hardly hear you, let alone hear the gap.
Why can't you hear me?
Well, because you're very muffled, and the gap was like it was almost in the other room. You're not playing fair.
I didn't mind the gap.
Thank you very much for calling, James. We appreciate it. Let's go to Tony. Hello, Tony.
Hi, Tony. Hi, Ian.
Yes.
How are you?
My favourite thing in the world when the caller says their own name. I love it. Although Dom, who does the Iain Lee quotes, pointed out a show from about 8 years ago where not only did the caller say their own name, I then went to correct them and I said, no, you're Iain, and I got the name. I did it, so it was a double whammy.
Wow.
Anyway, Tony.
Hi.
Hi, Tony.
Hi, Ian. I've been listening to you for like 10 years, and I've now got through to you, and that's awesome.
Well, it's not been that difficult to get through to me for 10 years, because for the majority of that time I've been hosting a phone-in show.
I'm a podcast listener.
Well done. We appreciate it.
Well, no, I appreciate the podcast service you provide.
And I appreciate every one of the pairs of ears, sometimes just one ears for those people who've lost an ear in an accident, great firefighters or police or military. But every ear is appreciated.
Well, I have two of them, and they're in all of you.
I want to lick your ears.
Well, they're not up for licking.
I want to lick them. I want to tongue F your ears.
Oh, God.
I'm going to tongue F your ear.
Well, I refuse to let you do such a thing.
Yeah, draw the line. Stop that.
I'm tongue effing his ear.
Stop it.
Anyway, Tony, what you got for us, mate?
What have I got for you? What can I really add to this conversation? Not a great deal.
Okay, well, you've waited 10 years, and it would be a shame for it to be an anticlimax.
Well, you seriously sexually harassed him.
Yes, well, yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm glad we're on the phone, put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just great to talk to you, man. You're really cool. Well, okay, you're not, but you are really cool.
Hang on. Hang on a second, Tony. Just wait
the
there.
The truth just seeped out
Just
there.
wait there, Tony. I want to have a quick word with Catherine. What was that thing you just did then? He said you're really cool, and they said, "Well, no, you're not."
I think it's his inner monologue seeped out.
I'm mortally wounded by this guy.
Just pretend you didn't hear that bit.
It's okay. Forgive yourself. Hi, Catherine.
Hi.
Well, hang on a second. Is there a way we can block him from listening to the podcasts without him knowing that it's us that's blocked?
But you just licked his ears.
I
mean, you owe him now.
I'm going to spit that
Wow,
wax
do you really want to deprive me of my only podcast?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do, Tony. Yes.
What please, can you not?
You said I was cool, and then you said, "Well, actually, you're not cool." So,
well,
that hurts.
After 10 years of listening to you, to have you diss me a little bit.
You love being dissed.
Am I not being dissed?
Would you like me to diss you? Because some people get off on that. Would you like me to diss you?
I'm not going to get off on it, but you're welcome to diss.
Well, no. I only want to diss you if you're the kind of sicko that gets off on it. What is it, a sadist or a masochist? I always get confused. Which is the one that likes to receive?
Masochist.
Okay, if you're a kind of masochist that would be excited by me. Who was it? there was someone I followed on Twitter. I know it was the guy. It was the cop from Breaking Bad. People would say, "Could you tell me to go F myself?" And he'd go, and he would do it, and people enjoyed it. And like, yeah, well, I got told to go F myself by the cop from Breaking Bad. So maybe, Tony, you're one of those people that it would excite you for me to be rude to you. But if it would make you feel bad, then I won't do it.
I appreciate that. I'd like us to be friends, if anything.
No.
Well, no, not friends.
No. Never gonna happen. No.
Could you be civil?
No, hang on a minute. Hang on. I'm working on a Ronnie Corbett. I was yay close to a Ronnie Corbett, and you interrupted me there.
Do it again, then.
No. I was. No, I've lost the Ronnie Corbett vibe. I was feeling Ronnie Corbett there. I was very close. No.
You were feeling Ronnie Corbett.
It's I've got the area. I've got the area of the face that Ronnie Corbett's in there.
Well, I've waited 10 years to speak to you, and now we're talking about Ronnie Corbett.
Well, at least we're talking about something, mate, and that was me that brought that one up.
At least he's not got his tongue in your ear.
At least.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so when do you listen? Here we go. I know how to do conversation. When do you listen to the podcast then?
I tell you what, right? I've had trouble downloading it. You have two podcasts. You have the highlight podcast, and then you have the full podcast.
No, we don't.
Yeah, you do.
No, we don't. No.
Okay.
No, we don't. We have the highlight podcast,
okay.
And we have the guest interviews. And then we have the Rabbit Hole podcast, but we don't have the full shows available as a legitimate download. There are some hooky sites where you can get some of them, but we don't release them on the official Talk Radio stream.
Okay, I'm not privy to the official stream, but about a month ago I was receiving the full...
So you don't even count towards our figures?
Well, that's all right.
Kind of. Why don't you download the official podcasts? That's what feeds my children.
Well, Christ, I can't handle feeding your children. Okay. I hope they're well.
They're hungry, is what they are.
Yeah.
Well, Christ, that's a guilt trip in itself.
Well, you're hey, listen, you're stealing from the mouths of a 7 and a 5-year-old by downloading Hooky Podcast and not the official one.
Well,
that's fine. That's fine. If you can sleep at night, then you're a better man than me, Gunga Din.
Well, it's good to meet you, though. Yeah.
Thanks very much for calling.
That went well, didn't it?
That went very, very well. That went very, very well. Yeah, that went very well. There are hooky website you can get the podcast, and that's absolutely fine. I just want people to listen to the show, but I would ask a favour: if you are downloading the ones from the hooky websites, can you download the official ones just so our numbers go up a bit?
Well, just so that my job is
safe. Honestly,
I make those.
This is a job that is it's a commercial business. We're based on numbers. If we don't get numbers, we don't get job. No, we don't get jobbed. We get anyway. What I'm saying is.
No listen, no show.
No like me, no likey. What I'm saying is, we want ears, and ears are great, and that's wonderful. And if you only listen to the hooky ones, that's fine. IainLeePodcasts.co.uk is basically everything I've ever done, on radio and podcast wise. But it would be nice if you could just get off your lazy, fat, pirating arses and just spend an extra, 30 seconds downloading the official Talk Radio podcast. Literally extra 30 seconds. You haven't got to listen to it, but if you're gonna get the full shows from a hooky website, then if you could download the official ones as well, it'd be nice.
But it's up to you. You do what you think is right.
Oh yeah. I mean, how old are your kids?
They are 9 and nearly 6.
Yeah, mine are 7 and 5, and
They take a lot of feeding.
They take a lot of feeding, guys. But don't you worry your pretty little heads. That's
they don't
my
need
problem.
school shoes, do they?
No,
not really.
Not these days. 0344 499 1000. This is Talk Radio.
The late night alternative with that man, Iain Lee. There's no strangers here, just friends you haven't stalked on Facebook yet.
Have never sent my picture to anyone who didn't request it.
The late night alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Yes.
Yes. 0344 499 1000. Will tonight be the night we go on beyond 1 o'clock? Who knows, dear listener? Who knows? Kyle?
Evening, boss. You all right?
Yes, good, thank you, Kyle. Good. I'm going to cross my legs for this call, I think. There we go. That's better.
Why go across your legs? Is that some sort of weird...
No, I just feel more comfortable with my legs crossed. I'm a very long-legged man, a lanky man, and sometimes I feel more comfortable crossing my legs.
See what he's doing there, Kyle, is painting pictures with words.
Yes, it's theatre of the mind.
Can you imagine him now?
Well, I was going to say, why are you doing that with me? Surely I thought you'd been man-spreading.
I would never have thought, much like the Bill Haley conversation, I would never have thought me simply crossing my legs to make myself more comfortable would elicit such an angry reaction from my callers.
Not at all. There was a bloke on the bus last week who basically he was sat in the back seat of the bus in the middle seat, and he had a leg on each seat.
What?
With his junk on show for everyone.
Oh, was it really? You could see it?
Yeah, honestly. Seriously.
Split trousers?
He wasn't wearing a kilt.
Right. So you couldn't see his junk. So hang on. His junk wasn't on display. What you've painted there is a forgery, an inaccurate picture.
Well, it wasn't forgery because he was clearly showing it off. I'm sure you could see shapes and everything.
I am very, very aware when I travel on public transport of keeping my legs locked closed. Unless I'm doing a knee war with some jerk next to me who's spreading into my territory, and I will happily do a knee war. I've got no qualms about that. I keep my legs closed, Carl.
Okay. Well, good to know.
Can I just say, on Twitter, I'm not going to say your name because it's silly, but there's an American listening to us. Driving home, happened upon Iain Lee for the first time. Insane callers, but fantastic show. A welcome change from US Talk Radio. You better believe it. You better believe your ass, mofo. This show is better than any... my name is Muhammad Ali, and this show is better than any show that has ever been seen. I float like a butterfly. I sting like a bee. I used to be called the Cassius Clay. Now my name is Muhammad Ali. That's not bad. That's not bad, is it, Kyle? Because Kath gave me the look say that was bad. But I know you, Carl, that wasn't a bad Muhammad Ali.
It was different.
Wasn't it?
From him, yes.
Yeah.
I am Muhammad Ali. I punch people and I do poetry.
Oh.
That's what he's famous for, isn't it? Two things, punching and poems.
Yeah, and
punching and poems by
civil rights, standing up to against the draft.
I would say that he wasn't. I would not say that is what he was famous for. I would say he was famous for punching people and poems, not writing poems, just making them up on Parkinson.
Honestly, I listened to Great Lives on...
Great show. I've appeared on there.
On Radio 4.
Been a guest on that show.
They spent an hour going through his life, and they could have done it in 2 sentences there.
It's only a half an hour long show, Catherine, but point taken.
Felt longer.
Point taken. Kyle, let's get to your point. I want to take your point.
Oh.
Well, there was a couple of points. Vera and Jack did, at one point, on the Rovers.
Very briefly.
They did, but
and they got kicked out under a cloud, didn't they?
Yeah. Now, listening to your previous caller, because who did they sell it to?
Tony.
No, not Tony. And it was
Alec Gilroy.
No, I don't think it was Alec Gilroy. I thought it was a consortium which featured John Saviden, who your caller mentioned as the king, didn't he?
Ashley. Is he dead now, John Saviden?
I think so.
Oh, yeah.
Let me check.
He got stabbed in there.
He did, didn't he?
Yeah, he survived that, didn't he?
He did survive that. That was a horrific attack, but I think he died. I think he died recently. Let's say recently, in the last year.
No, he's still alive.
Is he?
Yes.
Let's get John Saviden on the show.
We can give it a go.
Hey, listen, get him on the show. We'll go up to Manchester for a week, or we'll go and do the show from Manchester for a couple of days. And we'll go.
I bet he doesn't live in Manchester.
Oh, well, he'll live near it.
He's from Guernsey. Why would he live there?
Ashley, well, you will soon chop this meat for me, Ashley. He was great. I tell you who annoyed me on Coronation Street. Curly, the manager of the Costco. Him. What was his name?
Reg Holdsworth. Reg. Ended up selling windows, didn't he?
Yeah, I thought that character was awful.
He was a bit of comedy relief, wasn't he?
I thought it was absolutely awful.
Yeah. He was a bit of a perv, wasn't he?
In the programme?
Yeah, him, not him.
Yeah, Reg Holdsworth.
Reg was a bit of a... He thought he was some sort of ladies' man.
Curly.
The heart wants what it wants.
No, I thought he was a terrible character. I thought that's when Coronation Street was at its nadir. Sorry? Oh. That's a good one, isn't it?
Mm.
Thank you.
No, I like that. No, and then I had a couple of other bits. One involving Catherine, actually, but I don't know what you want me to prioritise.
Me?
Cut me off.
I'm not going to cut you off. Mate, listen, dude.
Prioritise.
It's 27 minutes past 12 on a Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. We just sat here chewing the fat, buddy. There's no pressure.
Oh, well, I in my head, and this is so weird, so when you were doing the voices before, in my head,
yes.
I had this weird thing of, because I used to do this with my ex-girlfriend's daughter, which is really weird, of doing an impersonation of Deirdre. And then for some reason, it was in my head from the Three Countess days that Catherine went to the exhibition. Or have I just made that up?
What are you talking about?
What exhibition?
The Deirdre exhibition.
I thought Catherine had the glasses. Have I just dreamt that?
No, Catherine used to have big Deirdre glasses.
I never. I've still got them. Them black ones.
No, you used to wear big Deirdre milk bottles. Yes, you did, like Sid Little.
Shut up.
Yes, you did.
I did not.
You did. You used to dress like an air hostess and wear neckerchiefs and Deirdre milk bottles.
Shut up.
You did. It's not why it's the thing.
Oh, I thought you did, Kath, because I remember.
I have a picture on my phone.
With little Sarah, and I used to try and have to flex my neck out for it, which made her
Tracy,
laugh.
love, come downstairs. Stop playing them tapes.
That's the one. Ken. And the neck was flexing.
It would be Tracy, love, let me in. Let me in.
I know. And then Tracy came down the stairs after 5 years with a different head on.
Yeah, that's the one.
We went to Coronation Street. I got
We
a great
did. We
picture
pulled
of
a
me.
pint.
Great picture of me behind the bar. I'm going to find a picture of Catherine wearing milk bottles.
You are not.
Mate, I am.
Because I've still got them, if they're the ones you're referring to.
We got. This could be a lock-in while I try and find this.
Because they're the ones you wore for National Paul Scoins Day.
I've got to go through... No, you have bigger ones than that.
No,
mate.
I didn't. They're the biggest ones I've ever had.
Do you know what's quite sad? Sorry, Kath. I genuinely thought they were like prop glasses that you'd put on for a laugh at the exhibition.
Terrible, isn't it?
I genuinely did.
Oh, is this... They're not the ones I wore when I was Velma.
No, no. That sounds like I'm like, well, that sounds like I'm avoiding that word. No, I don't think it was. I can remember at the old, like I said, the old place.
I'll find it, buddy. I've got to go through.
I don't think it happened.
Literally, 7,000 photos on my computer.
It won't happen. It won't happen. It didn't happen.
I'm pretty convinced because I was still in London back in those days. So,
I think this is FMS, false memory syndrome.
Well, do you know what? It's rare that I'll say it. I reckon Iain could be the daddy. He could be the boss.
If he comes up with a picture, I'll be extremely surprised.
Mate, honestly,
what was it called, that thing where there's two reality streams and people remember one and others remember another?
In my mind, I can't. This is weird. This is like a real phone. This is like a real normal conversation.
It is a real phone call. You phoned in on the phone.
But with people listening. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm convinced you'd come up to do something for a or to give us talk about, or a presentation about the radio industry, and then you just happen to stop at the Coronation Street exhibit as a bit of a trip because you're up here.
That happened.
Oh yeah.
That's what what
yeah, it did, but the glasses never happened.
What he's describing actually happened.
It did, yeah. It did.
Oh, I'm going to make it my life's work to find a bloody picture of you wearing milk bottles.
You will never find it. It didn't happen.
Yes, I will. Yeah.
Unless you've got the Velma picture, and that's private. What have you done, Kyle?
Well, I'm sorry. I was going to say my other point is well rubbish now compared with that. Sorry.
Go on, do the other one quick.
Hang on. Do the other one at your leisure, Kyle. I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying this goal.
The other one was when we... And I was trying to remember whether I rang you about this or whether this happened... It was a Facebook thing. But when we had that conversation last week about my name and changed my name and the S and everything...
Yeah, you didn't
but
change it.
my neighbour...
Yeah.
My neighbour is absolutely convinced I'm called Clive. Have I had this conversation with you?
Oh, yeah. That's a great one when people get your names wrong.
Yeah.
No, but he'd done it. So when I came out of hospital, after, so when I came out, he would speak to my girlfriend, he would speak to me. And he did it again yesterday, which is why it locked in my head, thinking, I need to ring in and mention that because that's mental. And he does. He's absolutely convinced I'm called Clive. And I can't dissuade him.
Could you not wear a name badge? Hi, I'm Kyle.
No, I didn't, Kath, I'll be honest with you. And I got on the bus with him yesterday, and we got all the way, and we got off at the same stop, because we live on the same street, and he said, oh, no worries, you go first, Kyle, you're faster than me, don't worry, Clive, don't worry about it, Clive. And he kept saying Clive, and I put it on Facebook, maybe about 3 weeks ago, going, what do I do? Do I just sort of say, actually, for 20 years, I'm Kyle, and people were just saying, do you know what, it's just easier, just say, you call Clive.
There's an alternative. We all start calling you Clive.
Yeah.
Oh,
can we change his name, please, on the, there we go. All right, Clive, problem solved.
Thanks for calling, Clive.
No.
Take care, mate. Let's go to a break.
Stimulating nightly emissions guaranteed to open your eyes and your mind.
Oh, my word. The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Picture of me with Sophie Rayworth. Found a picture of me with Sophie Rayworth.
Well, that's a real picture. The one you're looking for is not.
The boys with R2-D2.
Yep. What file is this in?
This is basically all the pictures that are on my phone. I had about 7,000 pictures, and I just took them off and put them on in this folder. So there's 7,000 pictures. I've now got another 4,500 pictures on my phone. So all these pictures I'm never going to look at or...
Let it go.
Let it go.
That picture doesn't exist.
Yes, it does.
I haven't had big glasses.
Ooh, I think you have.
Nope.
I think you have. Look at me with long hair. That's not me. Pictures are quite small on my computer. These are Three Counties pictures. Right, what I need to do is I need to get them all in the...
Is it me wearing Scoins' glasses, I wonder?
Mate, you used to wear big milk bottles.
I never.
But you did, though.
I never. They were thinner. They were smaller.
What year did I start at Three Counties?
I don't know. Seems like a long time ago.
2013?
Yeah, if you want.
Oh, I'm bored now.
Oh, look, now on Twitter people are starting to mock them up. Thanks very much, guys.
It's Bill Babcock. Evening, Bill.
My son, hero, worships you and you put on his cornflakes.
Sorry, buddy, what was that?
My son, hero, worships you and you put on his cornflakes.
That's an unusual and rather disgusting metaphor. Who is your son?
David Babcock, he rings you, what he thinks you're his best friend.
Well, listen, we might have done something terrible to his cornflakes, but do you know what he's been doing to your Hoover?
Never mind that. Why do you done a campaign of hate to him on the radio? My name's David Babcock, and I got Hoover stuck on my knob. Who's that?
That's your boy, David.
No, it's not. Anyway, why do you think it's fair to bully a guy?
Because he's a pervert. He's a dirty pervert. That's why, Bill. He is sick. 1 minute it's Hoovers, then it's going to be Dustbusters, then it's going to be mops, and then it's going to be animals.
David is a lovely lad, and I think you're being very cruel to him.
He was being cruel to the Hoover. Did the Hoover give consent?
He's not done anything with an Hoover. I would have heard it. I would have heard it whirring. Right, I want you to apologise, please.
I'm not going to apologise to him. He's a sex criminal.
Apologise, or I'll come down and box you.
Well, you come down and box me if you want, Bill, but I'm sorry, your son is a deviant.
Can I offer an alternative to all of this?
Yeah.
Unpleasantness.
Right.
I think maybe you need to have a little word with your son.
There's absolutely nothing. Right, he's a bit not particular. He's a bit peculiar.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with him.
He's lonely, Bill. I think maybe, I don't know, you could help him join a dating site or something.
Can I ask, Bill, what is his mother still around?
No, she's not. She ran off.
Right. When was that?
Oh, you're talking about, about 20 years ago,
Yeah.
I'd say.
So he's not, and you've not remarried or anything, Bill?
No.
Right. So he's not seen a normal, healthy, sexual relationship.
Well, he did actually have one girlfriend a while back.
Oh yeah, what was her name?
Tricia.
Right. Not the TV host.
I don't watch TV. You'll have to fill me in.
Okay. Well, was she black?
No.
Oh, well, then it wasn't her then.
Different Tricia.
Different.
She was a bit fat.
Okay, no, completely different Tricia then.
Right.
What do you think about all this nonsense about he can speak to ghosts and dead people and stuff? That's a bit frightening, isn't it?
It can. I've seen it.
Well, who has he spoken to? His mum?
No, his mum's not dead. She ran away.
Oh.
He speaks to loads of people.
Right. Actually, like dead people or on, like, the CB?
No, dead people. I've seen him do it. It's a right trick.
It's a trick?
Treat.
You said trick?
No, it's slip of the tongue. Right. You're right. I just want you to stop being so cruel to him because he thinks the world of you two.
Okay, well, just tell him we are not his friends. This is a radio show. We are hosts. We're in the radio hosting business. We're not in the friendship business.
We don't really want to know where he puts his pecker.
No.
But you just at least stop making up rumours about him putting his things in things, right?
Okay, hang on 1 second. Just listen to this one more time.
My name's David Babcock, and I got Hoover stuck on my knob.
Thanks for calling, Bill.
You made that.
Okay.
Sounded uncannily like Dennis from Dunstable, didn't he?
It's nice. Nice people calling in. Even if they got the wrong end of the stick. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. I tell you what, if we get 3 more calls before 1 o'clock, we'll have a cheeky little lock-in.
You up for that, Sam?
Yeah, if we get 3 more calls before 1 o'clock, we'll have a cheeky little lock-in. And if we don't, we won't. That sounds fair enough, doesn't it? 0344 499 1000. This is Talk Radio.
No rules nocturnal nattering for nightbirds, nurses, and Nosferatu.
All right, cool.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
0344 499 1000. We get 3 more calls before 1 o'clock. We'll do the first ever in British radio, I think, radio lock-in, and we'll go on for a bit longer. David is a call, so that we only need 2 more. Good evening, David.
Do they pay you if you do this lock-in?
I don't get paid any extra. I think these 2 might get a few quid.
Mm-hmm.
And how long will you do your lock-in for?
Well, until we run out of steam. It could be 15 minutes, could be 3 hours.
You need to think of a good topic to get people to ring in about.
Thank you, David. And why don't you tell me where you work, and I'll come to your place of work tomorrow and tell you how to do your job.
Well, I don't work, so I could tell you what.
Exactly right. Okay, so you're going to tell me how to do my job. Okay.
Don't work because of disability.
Right, and perhaps lack of manners.
No, I said I don't work because of disability. I have plenty of manners.
I've yet to encounter them in this phone conversation, David.
Oh, no, I do apologise. Would you like me to give you a topic of conversation?
Why?
I don't know. I just tuned in, and what I heard you say was you're going to do the first ever lockdown if you get 3 calls.
No,
so
yes, okay, right, yes.
I thought I'll give you 1 call. Have you got 2 more lined up or not?
Not yet, no.
Oh, well, that'd be no good, will it?
Well,
do you want me to ring you again? Do I hang up and ring again, or will that not count?
Why don't you give us a topic of conversation then?
Well, I'm quite disgusted with the government. This has nothing to do with Brexit. But about the way they treat people who are disabled. I myself claim a benefit called PIP, which replaced DLA 2 or 3 years ago now. When I first put my claim in, you've got to score so many points before they give it you. And my first claim was given 0 points, so I took it to appeal, got some extra points. I ended up taking it to tribunal, and they awarded me 1 point short of the maximum daily living component.
Gosh.
So the assessment wasn't done very well, and now they've told me I've got to be assessed again, and I'm going to have to go for all that rigmarole again. It isn't right. It is wrong. And there's been documentaries done on these people, and they're paid to do the assessments as quick as possible.
Agreed. Moving on. Agreed. You know, I think the system is unfair, but I just wondered what you telling me on the radio, how that would help. It won't help change the system? Does it help you feel better?
It doesn't help it, but other people might be listening and think, oh, yes, I've got this.
Other people would be reminded of their misery. Other people would be reminded of their misery.
Well, not particularly misery, but they could talk about their experiences.
But why? What would the benefit be? Have you listened to us before, David?
Not at this time of night.
No, okay, right. Well, then I think we're finding we're on slightly different ground. What would the benefit be of talking of hearing people's miserable stories? Now, it's certainly not going to change government policy, is it? Does it make you feel better?
No. What it does is people can tell you where they've had positive experiences.
But you've not. You've told us a negative experience.
Exactly. But if someone rings in and tells me a positive experience and how the way they dealt with their assessment, and how they did it, and how theirs was successful.
Right. Well, there are loads of successful assessments, obviously.
Yes, but there's a lot of unsuccessful.
Yes, I know, and I'm just wondering what the point of it of it being on the radio is. You're just going to remind people that life's shitty and unfair.
Well, the United Nations told the government that they treated disabled people with contempt. And
yes, we know, and we know that. I'm still confused as to why you think. Do you feel better for sharing this with me?
If someone rings in and tells me how they got on.
You'd feel better on the condition that someone else phoned in. Okay. But you telling me your experience doesn't make you, doesn't in any way bring relief from the burden?
Unfortunately not.
Right. So why tell me? Why tell me?
Well, I'm not telling just you. I'm telling your 10 million listeners.
We've got about 59,000 listeners, and why would they be interested? With the greatest of respect, why would they be interested?
Because most of them probably not, but some of them may know somebody, or be in the same situation as me.
Yes, exactly. And so, but why would they be interested in hearing your story?
Because they might find inspiration from something I like to say.
Okay, we're getting somewhere, and this is great, David, thank you. Give me the inspirational bit from your story of woe.
Well, the inspirational bit might be the way that I said I would treat the, would have to deal with the assessor when they came to assess me. If I mentioned that, I can't remember if I mentioned that.
You've not mentioned that, so let's hear the inspirational bit from the story.
I don't know whether it worked, but the assessor comes to my house or I go to their place.
Yes.
I can take someone with me. I can also record it.
Yes.
On tape or CD. But they've got to take a copy of the recording away with them.
Right, let's get to the inspirational bit.
The inspirational bit is, what I would do is tell them about my medical issues, tell them about the medication I'm on, tell them about the way the medication and the issues affect me in my day-to-day life.
Yeah.
And then there's 15 questions or descriptors, if you want to call them that.
Yes.
You answer them how they affect you, and and that you get your score points. So
I'm not drawing much inspiration from this. I'm drawing tedium.
Yeah, it is a little bit. That's the way I feel about it. It's very tedious and
yeah. Oh, it's a pain. Where's the well, exactly. And here's the point I'm trying to get to with the greatest of respect. There is so much in the news, in the papers, on the television, and on other radio shows where people share their personal tales of misery and woe and being treated unfairly in a bent system. So why would you want to inflict that on people that are already saturated with stories of everyone knows that life is unfair, right? Everyone knows it. So why would you want to remind people of that at 10 minutes to 1 on a Tuesday night, Wednesday morning?
Well, I can't sleep because I worry about it, but that's another issue. But people who've gone through a similar thing to me might be listening and be able to say, well, hang on, this has happened to me, and I did this, said this, did this. And
so you're looking for advice?
Yes.
Have you tried the Citizens Advice Bureau?
They're about as much use as a chocolate teapot.
Wow. Is this the same guy that played David Badcott's dad? I don't know.
No, I've not played anyone.
No, I'm teasing. It's banter, I believe is the phrase these days. So what did the Citizens Advice Bureau say?
They don't have people there that can deal with this.
No, because they've had their funding completely cut to zero.
There's a charity in Leicester that was set up to help, but they've dissolved. Well, they've not dissolved, but they're not actively helping people anymore.
So what are you going to do? Apart from telling everyone, making everyone more miserable?
I really don't know. I really don't know. I know someone that used to work at the charity, and he said he's going to help me out, but to be honest, I do not know.
So are you getting any benefit at all?
At the moment, yes.
Right. But you say at the moment, why? Is that going to stop?
Well, it might do. It depends on how I get on this face-to-face meeting with a nurse whose sole intention is to get your assessment done quickly and try not to get you any money awarded so the government saves money.
Okay. Well, it is it's a bent system, David, and I wish you the very best of luck with it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope you get 2 more phone calls so you can carry on as well.
Thank you very much, and I hope they're a lot more fun than you. Sally!
Hello,
Was
Iain.
I a bit rude to that guy? Maybe I was a bit rude to that guy.
You know what? I got so much crap going on in my life. The reason I listen to you is because you're so good at cheering people up.
Yeah.
And I don't really want to... I don't know, it's a bit depressing.
Maybe I was harsh on that guy. Kath was giving me the look to say...
It's real and it's happening, and I felt for him. But you could tell it was the first time he listened to this show.
Yeah. And hopefully David will keep listening, and hopefully David will come round to have fun with us in that way. Yeah. But then who am I to talk? I did the show talking about being suicidal for 3 months, so, what do I know?
Yeah.
What do I know?
Well, I just phoned in so we could have a lock-in and have a little chat and whatever about. But Carl reminded me of something.
Yes.
About, junk on public transport.
Yes, junk.
Yeah.
Man spreading.
Yeah.
Well, I was on the bus once, and I thought there was this bloke in front of me, and he kept looking at me, and then nodding down towards his groin.
Yeah.
And I looked down, and I was expecting to see, a willy. And it wasn't. It was a praying mantis.
Oh.
It was this huge praying mantis.
Are you sure he just didn't have an extraordinary shaped willy?
And it was horrible. It was just disgusting. And he wanted me to hold it and everything.
Sally, can you? I'm going to say it for the first time ever. Can you come back after the news?
Yeah, if you want.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It was a reluctant cry. We're going to have our first ever radio lock-in. What the hell? The show is carrying on. This is a first on British radio. The show is carrying on after 1 o'clock. Dear listener, this is Talk Radio.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
The wild man of late night radio, Iain Lee.
Differently interesting nocturnal emissions from a legend of late night radio. On air and off the leash.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee.
On Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
Well, this is it. This is happening. It's the first ever radio lock-in. The show normally finishes at 1 o'clock. But tonight has been so deliciously weird that I thought we'd have our first ever radio lock-in, and we'll see how it goes. It might be 15 minutes, it might be long. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I feel I was a little bit harsh on that gentleman that called in earlier on, but So some guy's giving me grief on Twitter, and that's, you know,
general status, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, calling me a winker and stuff that don't get you anywhere, buddy. You know, so that's I'm not saying that because someone's calling me a winker. But part of me does think, well, maybe I was a little bit. But here's the thing as well. I treat every caller the same, whether they are 5 years old or 90 years old. Whether they're mentally ill or... I treat everyone the same, but it just felt... I tell you what annoys me is people that phone the show that don't listen to the show.
And then suggest ways that we could change the show.
That's what gets it. Suggest ways to improve the show that they're not listening to, and I think that's maybe why I took a tone with that caller.
I know what you mean. And the improvements generally are to make it the same as every other show.
And people on Twitter telling me how to do the show. Sally. Got some nut job saying, Frankie, be nice to Sally. Sally is lovely. Be kind. As though I'm going to be an arse to her. Don't, I've muted the idiot now. He went, I said, don't tell me how to do my job. He went, ooh, get you. And I went, ooh, finds mute button and hits it. And I muted the idiot. So we're not going to be mean to Sally, for crying out loud. Anyway.
So you look over, expecting to see a willy, and you see a massive.
Hey guys, it's after 1 o'clock. We can use lavatorial language. You thought you were going to see a dick. You saw an insect.
Yeah.
Hey, haven't we all been there, girls? Hey, haven't we? We thought we were going to see a snake, and it was a worm. Haven't we, girls? Haven't we?
Oh.
Haven't we? Still, make the best of a bad job, I say.
But what is it with men doing that? I've had that done a few times to me.
Praying mantises?
Mantis.
No, men getting their things out.
Yeah.
Getting their what's out?
Getting their cocks out.
Well, all right, steady on. Well, you've had it, haven't you, Kat? Genuinely, that is, I cannot. I've had a bloke do it to me once. I've had a bloke do it to me. But genuinely, that is horrific.
Yeah.
That is horrific.
I don't know what they think is going to happen. As if you're going to go, yeah, do you know what? I'll take that.
Yeah.
But actually, I think it's more about power.
But I was at a pub with my other half.
Yeah.
Right. It was it was the day after my birthday. We sat in there having a drink. It was just after the cigarette ban in pubs.
Yes.
So this was when I was smoking, and I popped out for a cigarette.
Yeah.
And this bloke got chatting to me who was in the bar, and he said, oh, isn't it annoying? You have to come outside now and all this. And I said, oh, yeah. And then I turned to put something back in my bag, turned back, and there it is.
No.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sneaky.
And so I got him barred.
Good.
And then for the rest of the evening, his friends didn't leave with him. The rest of the evening, they just shouted obscenities at me.
How is that even... On what level is that even a thing where that's acceptable behaviour? That is incredible. On behalf of men, I apologise, because that is outrageous.
Because I think, right, there is a thing, and it's a shocking thing, right? And it's always been portrayed, if you see it on telly, the flasher, it's kind of hilarious, isn't it?
Oh, it used to be...
But when it happens to you, it's intimidating.
The Dirty Mac Brigade, it used to be a little bit of fun and stuff, and it's not, it's sexual abuse.
And also, when you see it from afar, and it's like, it's kind of, it's some sado, behaving like an idiot. But when it happens to you, it's a massive shock. it robs you of any. If you're not careful, you can feel very powerless in that situation. Well, no, if you're not careful, you feel powerless because it's someone doing something to you, and it's an invasion, and it's a violation.
Yeah. Well, I did tell him if he didn't put it back in, I would put my cigarette out on it.
Oh.
So.
Good one. I could never think of those things when it happens.
Oh,
Yeah. Horrific.
Oh well, that is horrible.
Apparently, the way to deal with it is to laugh at them because they're trying to get you shocked.
But here's the thing. You shouldn't have to have a dealing mechanism for it, because blokes shouldn't be getting their dicks out randomly.
It's true.
So you're right, you're supposed to laugh at them, but why should people have a plan for what to do when someone does that?
I know.
You know,
but do you know what? Women do have to have a plan.
I know, and it's awful. It's awful.
And now,
I cannot get my head around that.
And now they can do it online.
Yeah, they do it on. Oh God, yeah. Oh no.
We had no names, no pack drill. Sally, you might have been involved in this. We had a listener, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
That was we found out was sending dick pics to some of the female listeners.
Yeah.
Were you in on that, Sally? Were you one of the lucky ones?
No, but I think I've heard of it. And I think I know who you're talking about.
I don't want to mention any names.
No,
and he called the show a couple of times.
Yeah.
And a few people told me about it.
Yeah.
Did I email him?
I had a word with him.
You did. And then I think he emailed me to say I'm mortified.
He was annoyed that I'd told you about it.
Yeah.
And then I got the anger. After we discussed it. You know.
But then I did get like a kind of begging email saying I feel terrible. I'm going to delete Twitter and stuff like that. And I think I might have replied, dude, listen, it's fine. You do what you want to do, but I don't get angry with what you did was out of order.
Yeah.
But then he started doing it again. I think. He's not. I mean, he's not. This was like a year ago, maybe. He's not called. He's not. I think he called up once and spoke about his girlfriends. He was with his girlfriend, his fiance, or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember because she'd found him out, hadn't she?
Yeah. Actually, no.
At one point, yeah, I think there was that was the. Anyway, it was just awful, and it suddenly became my fault.
Jeez, but it's ridiculous. I mean, my daughter's 12, right, and she walks to school on her own, and I've had to give her a rape alarm. I mean, it's just so ridiculous what people think. I mean, I've had a bloke come up to me and just grab me by the chest before.
Oh, I have. Do you know what I did?
Yeah.
I grabbed his balls and smashed them together.
Yay!
He was furious. It was in a club, and again, out of nowhere, grabbed me.
God, I'm so shy physically around women. I can't even go up to them and ask if they want a drink, let alone,
But he was furious. He was like, how dare you? And I went, don't touch me then.
What a tit.
Yeah.
Literally.
Well, Sally, thank you very much for that. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. You're more than welcome to. This is the first ever radio lock-in in Britain. The show was a rock-in, so we called a lock-in. And here's the weird thing. We're now in uncharted territory, right? Because normally we take the Talk Sport feed and we're doing that. So we've got no ads. We've got nothing. The hour stretches out ahead of us like a blank canvas where we can go absolutely anywhere. If you want to call in, you'll be very, very welcome to 0344 499 1000. Same rules apply. I tell you what, I've got to say before we look in the papers, and let's look in the papers actually, because boy oh boy, aren't the Sun really clutching at Nazi straws? Have you seen the latest Paul Hollywood thing?
Oh, they're still going for him.
It's just the whole Paul Hollywood Nazi thing is such a made-up story.
Meanwhile, there are actual Nazis.
Yeah. This is, I mean, the three words they've used to describe him: Nazi Shame Baker, Paul Hollywood. Was once in a TV show where he joked about Adolf Hitler. I've got a feeling I was in a TV show where we joked about Adolf Hitler.
I think we might have joked about Adolf Hitler.
Yeah. I know for a fact that on an episode of the 11 o'clock show, Gerry Sadowitz dressed up as a Nazi. I don't understand what that is. We're allowed to make jokes about Hitler. We're not allowed to make jokes about the Holocaust or the murder of millions of Jews and homosexuals and gypsies and disabled people.
Are we now going to start calling Charlie Chaplin Nazi shame comedian Charlie Chaplin because he took the mickey out of Hitler mercilessly?
He also enjoyed a gag. This is Paul Hollywood now, Nazi Shame Baker Paul Hollywood. He also enjoyed a gag about driving the dictator's favourite type of car in the gaff-strewn programme. Right, let's see if they got the gags in it. The great British Bake Off star said this week he was absolutely devastated if he caused offence after being pictured in Nazi fancy dress for a party. But he had bantered about Hitler on Paul Hollywood's big continental road trip on BBC Two. In the July episode, he went on a 6-day, 1,000-mile tour of Germany. Here we go, the jokes are in it. Comic Christian Schultler showed him a warehouse of classic motors, including a van with the slogan Wittler Brot. White bread, I'm guessing. No, white is... Schwarz is black, white is...
Weiss.
Weiss. What's Wittler? Oh, maybe Hitler. I don't know. Hitler. I don't know. Christian quipped, "It's my German guilt kicking in. I think that reads Hitler." Beaming... This is the joke! This is the joke! Oh, God! Right, so it says Wittler Brot. Maybe Wittler is a name.
Yeah, the brand, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Christian quipped, "It's my German guilt kicking in. I think that reads Hitler." Beaming Paul, 51, laughed and replied, "Brot, is that bread? That's my wagon right there."
I don't think he was talking about Hitler, was he?
The presenter also went for a drive with Christian in a Mercedes-Benz 600 Grosser, the predecessor of a car loved by Hitler. After Christian joked, "Let's be dictators and drive around Berlin." Oh, jeez. Bearing in mind, this is how the story starts. Nazi Shane Baker, Paul Hollywood, was once in a TV show where he joked about Adolf Hitler. We've heard the joke. He also enjoyed a gag about driving the dictator's favourite type of car. We're getting to the gag. You ready?
Okay.
Listen carefully.
This is going to be awful, right?
Listen carefully.
Shocking.
After Christian joked, "Let's be dictators and drive around Britain," Paul replied, "Brilliant."
Oh, is that him enjoying the gag?
Paul also gushed about Nazi-backed Volkswagen. I've got a Volkswagen. That doesn't mean I'm a Nazi sympathiser. What a load of old crap. And I know it's the Sun, and I know they pay our wages, but guys, this is absolute pony. It comes after the Sun on Sunday published a pic of him in a Nazi outfit. He said he went as an hello character. There is no question Paul or anyone at his 2003 party has any sympathy with the Nazis. There's no story. That was the joke. I hadn't even read that story. That was the joke. That was it. Flipping heck. Can someone go around to the Sun offices? They're only down the road with a dustpan and brush. I think there's a lot of straws they might have dropped on the floor.
While you're at it, tell them some actual jokes.
The thing I was going to say before, you know, we had Dean Torrance on from Jan and Dean. Love Jan and Dean. Surf and pop stars in the early 60s. And he was talking about this album, Fillet of Soul, that they'd released.
That's a good joke.
It's a great... Well, it is, because I think it's a pun on... Well, it is. It's a pun on... kind of a pun on Rubber Soul by the Beatles that had just come out. And there's a few songs from Rubber Soul on there. And they'd presented an album, and the record company... It's basically like a live concert album. And the record company went, "We ain't putting that out." And they made them put out a more standard album, right? Well, finally... 50 odd years later, they've released the album as it was meant to be. And there's a brilliant little video on Facebook, in fact, Dean sent it to me as well, of how they had a really badly scratched acetate of the record. And they filmed the guy cleaning the record and recording it and de-hissing it. It's brilliant. So I got the record, right? It's supposed to be a live album. It is, without a shadow of a doubt, the most insane record I have ever heard in my life. I totally get why they didn't release it. But boy, oh boy, I wish they had. You know Revolution Number 9 by the Beatles?
Yeah.
Number 9. It's like an 11-minute sort of audio montage that the older I get, the more I think it's genius. The whole album is kind of like that. They go to do one of their hits. There's all this talking. They go to do one of their hits, and it starts playing the hit like 15 minutes into the album. You think, oh, we're going to get some music now. And you get 20 seconds, and then it just speeds up into infinity, and it's gone. And then they keep playing the intro over to, "Now we're going to do Hang On Sloopy." And it starts. Then it goes, "Now we're going to do Hang On." And it is it's an audio collage, and it is wonderful. Filet of soul, Jan and Dean. There's hardly any music in it. I thoroughly recommend you go out and buy it, because you will not hear a record like it. And if they'd released it in the 60s, it would have been heralded as a performance art masterpiece. It is a masterpiece. I love it. And what's great about the 21st century, Mindel, I'll come to you in a second, is I could send Dean an email. I sent Dean an email with a picture of the album, and I just wrote, uh-oh, I got it. And he replied, fingers crossed or something. And then I listened to it, I went, Dean, this is the most insane record I've ever heard. I love it. And he just replied, that makes me very happy, my job is done. What? How cool is that? Mindel, good evening, Mindel. Welcome to the first ever lock-in.
Radio lock-in!
Yay! Rat fans!
Did you think that was a rat impression? Did it sound like it?
Was it not?
It was definitely his tone of voice.
I mean, yeah, it was, yeah. I was phoning up to talk about public transport, because hearing Sally's praying mantis story reminded me of something that I've seen on a tube, which was, I was sitting next to a man who was dressed in business attire, and he said to me, do you want to see what I've got in my pocket?
Oh, God.
Oh.
But, do you know what it was? It was a rat.
Sorry?
It was a pet rat.
In his pocket?
Yes.
It was a rat, not a mouse, because rats are big.
Mm-hmm. It was bigger than the mouse.
And it was alive?
Yes.
They're very tame.
Alive.
They're a very tame pet rats.
That is...
And I didn't know what to say. And nobody else batted an eyelid.
Of course they didn't. It was in London, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Everyone will be talking about it afterwards, but no one reacts at the time.
We can. This can be our first topic for the first ever lock-in. Pets in pockets. 0344 499 1000. We used to have a caller to the show. Another radio station. A German lady. I always forget her name. Her last name was Schenker. She was the sister of the famous rock guitarist Michael Schenker, who was in. He was in a German group, then he was in the Michael Schenker group. Really famous, like, heavy metal guitarist.
Was she called Olga?
No, her
Helga?
name was...
Heidi.
No, don't. Hang on. She was called Rock and Roll. Anyway, she was nuts. And she came to a few things that I was doing. And she had a budgie in a plastic ball. Right? It was a plastic ball. It was breathing...
solid?
Well, there were breathing holes in it. But it was like a beach ball size, and in it was a budgie. And she would put this on the front of her bike and ride her bike, and the budgie would fly around inside the ball. And she always brought it with her. It was the weirdest thing.
That definitely beats rat in pocket.
Yeah.
Well, the budgie was being restrained at least. The rat was just roaming free.
What was her name?
Yeah, it was in his pocket, and he just lifted up the flap that was over his suit pocket, and the rat's head kind of popped out of it.
Why did he show you? Have you got a face that says, show me your rat?
It does. That's one of my catchphrases. Show me your rat.
Here's the thing, though. There would be rat shit in his pocket.
And because they wee all the time.
There's a rat shit in my pocket, what am I gonna do?
We used to have pet rats when I was a student.
Yeah.
We had two, Benny and Bjorn.
Yeah.
We were ABBA fans at the time.
Of course you were.
And we used to let them out. We used to shut all the living room doors. It's probably breaching several clauses.
Tallulah was her name. Thank you.
Oh,
Ray.
good.
Tallulah, yeah.
We probably breaching several parts of our contract with the landlord. Shut all the doors, let them out, and they used to just run around the living room. They used to sit on our laps. They used to come when we called their names.
Wow.
They're clever.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Here's the thing. If I ever did one of the Jungle or anything like that, any of those things, I would say, right, because I hate spiders and I don't mind snakes.
Do you want to give this away?
Yeah, I don't mind giving this away. I would say I love spiders. But I'm not so keen on snakes, and then they give you the snake task. But also, I'd be up for doing the rat tasks on there, because they're not going to be rats that they've captured from the Australian outback. They're going to be rats from a pet shop.
So they're going to wee on you, and they're going to be scratchy. But apart from that,
it's fine. I've got kids. Well, it's
they probably won't kick you in the balls.
It's nothing
a bonus.
new to me, and tell me that they don't love me and they prefer their mother. No, that's not going to happen. So I would be up for rats. I don't mind. But real life rats. Oh no.
Rats.
Wild rats.
No, they're nasty.
Yeah, vicious buggers.
They make a noise, don't they? Or is that just in horror films?
I think that's the noise.
I don't know.
I think that's the noise they make. Imagine. I remember. When I was about 24, 25, and I first got together with a girl, and she was renting a room in a house, and we stayed in her room, and a mouse came into the bedroom. I did not get a wink of sleep that night, and not for the sexy reason. It's because I was bricking it that there was a mouse in there.
And they're tiny, but it's the element of surprise, isn't it?
The best thing, right? Velvet used to be a bit of a mouser. She's not now. But I never forget when I was living in a flat, and I could hear something scuttling about in the dark. I thought, there's a mouse in there. I turned the light on, and I looked, and I saw it dart behind, we had a blanket box against the wall, right? So it darted behind there. So I picked up Velvet, and I was like thrusting her to it. I was thrusting her to it, right? And what Velvet did, fair play. So I pulled the blanket box away, and Velvet caught the mouse, right? And I was going, kill it! Kill it! And what she did was she picked it up, and she was holding it, and then she was juggling. I swear to God. She was juggling this mouse.
Is she a Disney villain?
She was juggling it, and I was going, Velvet, just kill it, just kill it. And of course, what happened? She missed it, and the mouse went, and it hid behind the blanket box. And this is the weirdest thing, right? So the cat is looking down at the corner of the blanket box, and the mouse has got his head poked around the corner, and he's looking, and they're having a standoff. I went and slept downstairs. I couldn't handle that.
Did she draw a little lady mouse on her finger and coax it out? That always works.
I couldn't.
That's always work, yeah.
Yes. Well, Mindel, thank you very much for that. Let's go to Ray. Good evening, Ray.
Good evening. It was Tallulah from Electric Parade.
I just read your tweet out. You're absolutely correct. How could I have forgotten her?
Do you remember her catchphrase?
Rock and roll!
That's it.
Rock and roll!
There we go. That was her. Is she still alive?
I've no idea. I think I saw her on. I last saw her on MySpace. That's years ago.
Again, I'll ask: is she still alive? I mean, I met her a few times, and she used to phone in a lot. Complete space cadet, but wonderful, wonderful, wonderful call. But I've not spoken to her for. I don't think she phoned when I was at Virgin, so I'm going to say I don't think I've spoken to her for 10 years.
She did call you a couple of times at Virgin or Absolute.
I love these people who know more about me than I do, which is most people, to be honest. Well, Tallulah, if you're out there, we're thinking of you.
And a budgie.
Step forth.
Right, thank you very much. Her name is Tallulah. Here's the problem I've got with the Bugsy Malone film.
Too sexy for kids.
Well, no, not.
It was a bit.
No, that's not the problem I've got. Can't really understand what they're singing. It's all a bit muffled. Because they don't enunciate.
It's like they were kids.
Yeah, exactly. But still, I know they're kids, but I want to watch. If I want to watch it, I want to know what's going on. I want to know exactly what is going on.
I do find little girls in lipstick very disturbing.
Yeah.
Although I did want to be a mini pop.
Yeah. Well, the mini pops flipping it. What was that about?
Wrong is what it was about.
Sherlock star Benedict Cumberbatch could have earned £240,000 at one event just by posing for pictures with fans. Good for him. Good for him. I paid. How many dollars did I pay to have my picture taken with Mickey, Peter and Michael? Oh yeah, I'll tell you. $300. $300. It's a great picture, but $300.
Was it more to get it signed, or was that included?
No, it was more to get it signed. I think it was maybe another $100 to get it signed. To get Michael Nesmith to sign a record for me was $75. No, sorry, apologies. Was $40. If I'd wanted him to put my name on it, it was $75.
Wow. The reason...
Here's the thing, right? And he knew me because I'd interviewed him, and I'd approached him about, I was making a little film there, and he said, no, I don't want to be filmed. Okay, fair enough. Here's the thing. didn't even look up at me. Didn't even look up at me, and I'm paying. Actually, I think it was $60. It was $60 to get him to sign it, but I needed it because I had the three others on this box set, and I needed his signature in that space.
And the reason they give for charging that is because of professional autograph hunters. But to me, it sounds like bullshine.
Yeah, and here's the thing: there was a queue, $300 a pop. There was a queue, and we managed to jump the queue because I was giving a talk there. There was a queue. I'd say it was 1,000 people.
Oh my!
Queuing for that, and he also had because he never does these things. He had the biggest queue for people wanting his autograph. Again, I'd say another 700 people. Incredible. So well done, Bear. I'd love it. I can't charge anything. We give it away free.
I mean, we virtually pay people to
we
take them.
give it away. I've developed the great technique now at the end of an event, and it's after I was doing those Iain Lee versus radio shows. We'd come out and people would be like, it was always nice to meet people, even though I'm socially awkward and terribly uncomfortable. I think if people are putting money in my pocket, the very, very least I can do is go out and say hello and shake hands and have pictures. The very, very least, And people said some really nice things. But I learnt quite quickly to come out and say, right, who wants a photo? Because otherwise people are quite embarrassed.
They feel awkward too.
Yeah, of course they do. And I'm aware that it makes me sound a bit of a twit, but it's that thing of, we do it now when we do this thing. Right, who'd like a photo? And you've kind of got to get things going because it's an unusual. In America, I wonder if this was in America. In America, they're much more used to it because they have the culture of going to conventions. Fan conventions started. I would imagine they started in the 70s for things like the Monkees and Star Trek. The Beatles conventions were started, I think, in the early 70s. And it was, they rent out huge halls in hotels, and thousands of people come from all over the world, to go to these conventions. And they're fun. I really enjoyed the Monkees convention. I was like umming and ahhing, and I just thought, oh, sod it, I'll do it. And it was fun, and it was geeky, and I was kind of hiding behind the video camera because I was making this little documentary that's up on the rabbit hole if you want to watch it. That made it easier for me being socially awkward, and I could kind of go up to people and thrust a camera in their face and say, can I talk to you? But I like these conventions. I've been to a few conventions here. There's a Beach Boys convention this Saturday, which I went to last year. I probably won't go this year. I went to it last time in 1989 when there were 500 people. I went last year and there was about 100, and I felt a little bit out of place. And we just don't have that convention culture where 700, 1,000, 2,000 people will converge at a place for a whole weekend to talk about the thing that they love.
I think people in this country are still quite bashful about telling people that they admire them.
Yeah.
There are some people who'll be rude to them, and it's nerves, really, isn't it? It's like, oh, I'm not fazed by this, and actually they come across as a bit of a knob. But we're very reserved about it, and it is making yourself quite vulnerable.
But I tell you, the thing about the joy about being at this Beach Boys thing last year, being at that Monkees convention, was being in a room, also at the Monkees thing, was being in a room with 1,000 people who all think that, who you all agree, doesn't matter what your religion is, your politics, none of that got discussed. We all agree that the Monkees are one of the greatest groups around, and it's one of the best TV shows around. And that was it. We all agreed to that. And so you could go up, and people were coming up to me because some of them recognised me from the radio, or they knew that I was doing. I hadn't started the record label then, but whatever. And they knew that I'd interviewed Mike Nesmith. That was kind of the end. People went, "Oh, you're the guy that interviewed Mike," and people were going up to each other and they're in the lobby. Mm-hmm. People were having sing-alongs in the lobby. People get guitars out and sing-alongs at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Incredible. I went to bed. It's too late for me. Anyway. Sherlock star Benedict Cumberbatch could have earned £240,000 at one event just by posing for pictures with fans. They were charged £75 a time to have their photo taken with the actor 41, who posed for 3,190 snaps over 2 days. £250,000 for 2 days just standing there going, "Hello, your name is, nice to meet you. Thanks very much." That's it. Oh, baby. He wouldn't have got all of that, though. It means Benedict, worth an estimated $25 million, would have made £240,000 just on pictures like the one on the right, assuming he got it all. Well, the photographer would have got a percentage of it, and there are photographic companies that just do these. They just do those gigs, that's what they do. But hundreds of fans would also have forked out 45 quid for an autograph and 25 quid to hear him talk to an audience. 85 quid for an autograph, wow. One film buff, known only as Eva, 47, was happy to spend a total of 225 quid for the top package. She said, after a silly pick, brilliant talk, and a lovely autograph, I'm going to call it quits. I'm tired but happy. But one unimpressed parent dubbed him Benedict Money Snatch.
I bet. Who's this unimpressed parent?
Not named. Benedict was the star attraction. Oh, this is in London. Was the star attraction at the London Film and Comic Convention held at Olympia at the end of July. Is that what we went to? No, it wasn't Comic. Was it Comic-Con?
It was Comic-Con, yeah.
But it wasn't the film.
No.
It's not clear how much of the cash the stars actually get. Benedict was unavailable for comment. It's none of your business. It's none of your flipping business. He'll probably get 200 grand for that. Beautiful. Why not? Here's the thing, right? And I felt a bit snarky having to pay. No, Nesmith. Here we go. Nesmith was $75, $100 if I wanted his write my name, and I felt a bit, but I wanted it. I wanted it. I wasn't going to meet him under any other circumstance. That picture of me with the three monkeys, I wanted it. And do you know what? It was the best $300 I've spent in a long, long time. I was happy. And yeah, it's a lot of money. And part of me thinks, oh, money. And one of the monkeys doesn't even like me and thinks I'm a dick. But do you know what? I've got a picture of me with three men that have made me very, very happy. Oh, $300, beautiful. You've seen it. The grin on my face is just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Love it. Yeah, don't knock Benedict Money Snack. That's mean. I'm coming. 0344 499 1000. By the way, this is live 1:32 on a Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. It's the first ever radio lock-in on British Radio. I'm coming round to Benedict Cumberbatch. I've always been a bit sneery about him, but as I get older, I'm starting to come round and think actually maybe there's something about that guy.
Really?
Yeah.
What about Idris Elba? Still?
No, God, no, he's a dick.
Okay.
Watched a terrible film. I rented a movie online. It was a film that we had tickets to go and see and we didn't go and see in the end. Life. Jake Gyllenhaal, the rather dishy Ryan Reynolds, and Idris Elba in space. It's like Alien. And what was clever was Idris Elba, you find out, is in a wheelchair because he's in space, he's floating around. And his legs were all atrophied.
Oh, were they?
Yeah. He had, very skinny legs. Obviously, they weren't his legs. But I thought, isn't that clever? They
CGI'd him.
They CGI'd his legs. Very, very dull film. Very dull film. Very boring. And
was it ponderous?
No, but it was. I quite like ponderous. There's a brilliant film, Interstellar, which is, you've seen that, so that's a great film, because it's kind of time travel, but it's not.
Is that the one with George Clooney in it?
Nope. That's Gravity.
Oh.
No, that's another one. He gets sucked off in a black hole. Right, this fella. And because he gets sucked off in a black hole, the longer he's in the black hole, the further he goes into the black hole, time changes.
Mm-hmm.
So if he's in the black hole for a minute, that's 6 months on Earth.
Right.
So he goes deep into the black hole for an hour, right?
Well, he gets sucked down there on purpose.
Yeah. He has to go and rescue someone. And then he comes out,
Has he
right?
got
Then he's
strings?
involved in interdimensional stuff. But then he gets back to Earth, right? 70 years have passed. He's not a day older. He goes and meets his daughter. She's in the hospital dying of old age.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Oh, it's a great film. So I've spoiled it now. There is
That's the film.
No point in you watching it. Here we go. Mr. Page says, I like Mr. Page. I got a picture with Hannah Spirit.
From S Club?
For 10 quid. That's not bad. But it's on my phone, though. So not signed. So he gave someone a tenner so that he could stand there and someone... Why would you not just walk up to them and sneak it? Why would you not sneak it? A tenner? That's odd, isn't it?
I'm imagining it wasn't because of S Club, it was because of her role in... What was she in that?
Oh,
that
Primeval.
Yeah.
I never watched that. Never watched that. It doesn't... Here's the thing. British... science fiction romps. Why would you watch them when America do them so much better? America do everything better TV-wise.
I watched quite a bit of Torchwood. I can't remember why. I think I was pregnant and I had insomnia. But that was like sexy Doctor Who, wasn't it?
It was bisexual Doctor Who, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was all a little bit...
You saw plenty.
It was sexually ambiguous and...
everyone was at it.
It was very trendy. It was a very, very trendy take on science fiction with everybody rutting.
Yeah. With everyone.
Here's the thing: I'm trying to remember. Does anyone? There's a Kurt Vonnegut book. I was thinking about this today because the Christian family that have taken their kid out of school because there's a trans pupil, there's a trans 6-year-old or a 6-year-old that wears a dress or something. I've not really read the story. I've read the headlines, right? And they took their kid out of school because they're absolute idiots, right? It's not. He's not going to catch gay. He's not. What?
But then they started talking about, oh well, I saw them being interviewed, and the wife said, well, it's statistically proven that 98% go through this phase and come out the other side and don't want to be girls anymore. And I thought, what? 98%? Who's giving you that statistic?
I just. Here's the thing. There's a lot of nastiness about. Why would we want to make kids feel insecure and belittled and ashamed of what they're thinking and feeling? Why would anyone want to do that? If my boys want to wear a dress, all right, you can wear a dress. If they then want to take it a little bit further, fine, then we'll have that conversation and we'll see. Why would you belittle a kid just because they're a little bit confused about what they are? Or maybe they're not confused, they're certain about what they are and what they are is wrong. It's not as if 6-year-olds are going for the operation. They're not actually going and getting, taking pills and stuff like that. So just let them be. Why? You look at pictures of Victorian kids, they're all wearing dresses.
Pink was a boy's colour, wasn't it?
Pink was a boy's colour. They're all wearing dresses. What is it? Let kids do what they want. I used to wear a dress. I remember when I was about 4, 5, 6, I had this turquoise blue sort of it was like a sort of tutu, but it was a dress. It was like a bit frou-frou at the bottom. I remember wearing it. I remember wearing it and hiding it because someone came around and I felt ashamed. I shouldn't have felt ashamed. I was a 4-year-old kid wearing a dress. We had a dress-up box.
Just clothes, for God's sake.
Dress-up box, and I like wearing it. It was a bit of fun, So anyway, what was I saying? There was a point to where I was going with that. We started off with something, and we were going to go somewhere, and then I got.
Right, we were talking about Torchwood and how quote-unquote modern it was.
I was being a little skit about it being trendy.
Yeah.
Then we talked about trans.
And then there's these parents who are taking their kids out. Well, what was the bit in the middle?
There was
the jam in that sandwich.
There was something in the middle. We can't allow the first radio lock-in to collapse. 0344 499 1000, by the way, is the phone number. This is live. It's 20 to 2, and you can call in. We'll carry on until we run out of steam, which turns out could be in the next 30 seconds at this rate. I was going to say something. Torchwood, science fiction. Oh!
Everyone doing it with everyone else.
Got it. And so thinking about this family today, and it reminded me, there's a Kurt Vonnegut book, and I can't think which Kurt Vonnegut book it is. I want to say it's Sirens of Titan, but I can't think. But he talks about, and I remember reading it and thinking, oh, that's interesting, but a bit nuts. And then it popped into my head today and thinking, he talks about another planet or something in the future or something. It's so long since I read it. I have to look at my Kurt Vonnegut encyclopedia. And there are 5 or 6 genders. He says the human race, I think it's on Earth, the human race has evolved so much that there are now 6 genders. And he then breaks down as to what they are. And he says 2 of them are so vague that they can't even be described. And I thought, yeah, that kind of makes sense, that we have got into this, there are 2 genders. But actually, it is a bit more fluid. It is a bit more nuanced. It is a bit more vague than we've given it credit for. And I wish I could remember the Kurt Vonnegut book and then quote it, because I just thought it was a beautiful thing. The human race has evolved so much, there are now 6 genders.
But so much of what we think of as being kind of gender roles vary all the way around the world. They're imposed by culture. Children don't know any different.
No.
Children will play with anything. My little nephews come round. First thing they go for is the dollies and the push chairs, because they don't have them at their house, and toys are toys.
Yep.
And I make a real effort with my kids, but my littlest daughter is very stuck in the kind of that's a girl's thing and that's a boy's thing, and it's not come from me. I always try and sort of even things out and say, look, if you want to play with it, you play with it. There's no such thing as girls' things and boys' things. I sure as hell don't think of myself as being, right, I am a woman and that is all I am.
Yep. I am what I am. That was quite good singing, actually. Sorry, I've thrown you off your...
But yeah, I'm just... So, it's a trap, isn't it? It's a trap.
Yeah.
You don't have to fall into these kind of prescriptive roles because they're changing all the time.
Yeah.
And, I heard, and I know you're not a massive fan of his, but Robert Webb is talking about this.
Yeah.
And he's saying that he tries to sort of make sure that his daughters know that if they want to do something, it shouldn't be about whether they've got, a foof or a penis.
Wow.
It's all about, going for it. And they know that there is a trick, and they call it the trick, and what they mean is like this sort of patriarchal view of what boys should be and what girls should be.
Yeah.
And they say it's what makes boys sad and women get crap jobs.
Mm.
And there is something in that as well, isn't there, of this whole thing about manning up and all that, and what a man is supposed to be and what he's supposed to do and how he's supposed to be the breadwinner and all that stuff. And it just makes people feel insecure because no one can possibly tick all those boxes.
We're watching in the series of season 3 of Naked and Afraid XL.
There's a right idiot
There's a guy in there who won't let the women go hunting because it's my job to provide for the women. You stay here and you can do the cooking and you can get that fire going.
And even when they bring back the goods, he will not eat it.
He's an idiot. Yes, Ray?
Well, it must be good morning now, is it?
Well, have you had a sleep?
No.
Good evening, Ray. It's not good morning till you've had a sleep.
Good evening, both of you. First things first, can you change my name? Because there now seems to be too many Rays calling in.
Well, what is your name?
Well, officially it's Raymond.
OK, let's call him Raymond.
Oh, can you put an O on the end?
No.
Why?
Because it's Raymond.
There is another Raymondo, for all we know, and we're saving it for him.
Yeah, but I'm great.
You're quite pernickety.
It's funny if just mention something. The first episodes that I've watched of a show that you've been going on about for ages, Naked and Afraid.
Yeah, it's a great show. You're going to fall down that dark hole.
Well, the first one I've got that was on the box set things was the XL one that you've just mentioned.
Oh yeah, we've not. No spoiler alert. 'Cause we're only halfway through that series, so don't want to know what happens.
Okay, but you are right. He is an absolute melt. The guy, he's the small guy that's just nothing to him.
Hey brother.
The other big
brother.
Yeah, the big guy that killed. You must have.
I tell you what we've got up to. Have you seen that whole series?
Yeah.
Right, I tell you where we've got up to is it's about halfway through, and then the people who are doing the 21-day challenge have just come round the corner.
Yes.
So the ex-soldier who is still quite damaged by it has just joined.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, disappointingly, has taken that little runt side against the women who are rightly annoyed at the way he talks to them.
It's unbelievable. I just can't get my head around the fact that they're all walking about the Amazon jungle barefoot.
This is the thing. Do you know why they're naked? Because I've spoken to the producer, I've spoken to stars of it. I still don't know why they're naked. I don't get it.
Because they are at the absolute literally bare minimum.
But then I watch things like I'm a Celebrity now, and we're watching this Bear Grylls Celebrity Island, and I'm watching going, that's not very tough. You've got clothes.
They're all head to toe in Gore-Tex and have the audacity to moan.
They gave me £300, Bear Grylls, to go and buy the clothes. You're only allowed to take one set of clothes with you. So I went out and bought all these clothes, and the people in the shop were going, what exactly do you need it for? Where are you going? I said, I don't know. They said, is it going to be hot or is it going to be... I said, well, I think it's going to be hot, but I don't know. And I need shoes that I can walk in, but I can also get wet. And they said, where in the world are you going? I said, do you know what? I haven't got a clue. I don't even know if I'm going yet. So it was... But now I watch any of these programs, I think, yeah, you've got clothes on. This is a piece of cake.
Yeah.
This is a doddle.
That island thing, the first time we saw it and we saw that some women had elected just to wear bikinis and sandals, I thought, hang on a minute, this is Benidorm compared to what we've been watching in the jungle.
You wait, it gets good. I can't give you a spoiler, can I?
It's already great. But that guy, I mean, he's such an interesting person to to study because his prejudices are right on the surface there. And when it starts out, he's kind of second Mexican to the left to the massive beefcake guy, isn't he? He's the supporting role, and he's really kissing up to him. And that guy goes, and immediately he sort of puffs himself up.
It's unbelievable. It's just a complete chauvinist, and it's like you say, the new guy that obviously looks like at any stage he's going to kill someone.
Yeah.
Just sort of goes, I'm on my side. I'm going to let him lead. Oh, God, yeah, it's bizarre. But they don't get a fee, do they? They don't get any money for doing the show.
They're doing it because they love it.
What's this? Naked and Afraid?
Yeah.
I think they get paid.
Well, I think
I have got a feeling that this is the great unspoken thing. I've got a feeling because they keep using the same people over and over again. I think they enjoy it. I think they're exhibitionists. I think they get a fee.
Well, but they're professional survivalists, so it's great.
Oh, I bet they get paid a fee.
Publicity for them, isn't
because
it?
you're not because that show is so low budget. You fly some people out to Panama for 3 weeks and you film them. That's it. Don't cost nothing. They must get a fee. I'm pretty certain about that.
I'd be amazed if they're doing it for nothing.
Yeah, I don't think they're doing it.
Because it's a lot of time out of their lives as well.
Yeah, well, they don't need a clothing budget, do they?
Raymond, thank you very much indeed. Gaz, Gaz has tweeted. I thought it was a text. I was going to phone him up. Gaz, why are you so hateful towards children? A boy wearing a dress to school is mad. Even pretending this is a normal chat, stupid. Pretending it's norm is a joke. Okay, but why would you? But I mean, I don't see why you've got a problem with a kid feeling uncomfortable in the body and therefore the clothes that he is in. What negative impact does it have on your life, Gaz? How is it affecting you adversely?
Also, they've been tomboys for years, and that's cool.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So. Going around saying mad and this isn't normal and it's a joke, just think of the impact you're having on kids that are confused about what they are, whether they're trans or whether they're gay or whether they're straight, whatever they are. Saying mad, this isn't normal, stupid, a joke. How does it affect you, Gaz? How does it affect you? How is a boy, let's say, in a dress at school, how does that affect you? What's it got to do with you?
The other thing is, I bet you wouldn't even notice.
No, of course not. Of course not. Gaz, phone up, 0344 499 1000. That's the telephone number. Hey, we've nearly done another hour. We've nearly done an hour. Let's do this and then we can nick off. Mm-hmm. Holidays in space from Rocket Man of Northumberland. British rockets. It's a far cry from Cape Canaveral, but you can't fault them for trying. A small British space firm used a flatbed truck in Otterburn, Northumbria, to launch a rocket into the sky yesterday. The 27-foot rocket named Skybolt 2 only had one astronaut, a cuddly toy dog called Sam, supplied by a local primary school. However, the company behind the test launch, Star Chaser, said it had high hopes that the launch will pave the way for taking people to the stars in the next few years. Here's the thing, right? I was really getting into this, and this is kind of Eric von Daniken, Chariot of the Gods, right? What if we did come from Mars? What if we originally... I was really getting into this at the weekend, watching this silly space film. What if we did come from Mars? Like thousands of years ago, we lived on Mars, right? And there was a huge war. There was a huge nuclear war that destroyed the planet.
Right.
And the only hope for humankind was that planet over there. We've got to get there. As they came to Earth. We came to Earth from Mars. Because there's that nut job that's on Howard Hughes quite a lot, who talks about, apparently there are loads of photographs of like toasters and stuff on Mars. Now, I don't necessarily buy that. But I was really thinking about this a lot at the weekend.
But if that was the case, why did it take us so long to develop we've not even got there yet, to develop the technology to get that far in the other direction?
Oh, because it was all destroyed. It was all destroyed. It was like a last.
But it would be our heritage.
Well, yeah, exactly. Okay, I can explain that in one of two ways. One is, it was all destroyed, and us coming to Earth was a real desperate... we were literally fleeing a planet in its dying days,
Right.
okay? And we came here and we with all the equipment and everything was destroyed, okay?
Right.
Or we used a different language, we used different technology, and we came here and we have left the instructions. We've left our history here, but it's written in a language that we don't understand. It would be like now you giving a kid a floppy disk and saying, "Can you just get the data off that for me and tell me what it says?" They've got a floppy disk. A kid hasn't got a clue what a floppy disk is, let alone that you.
Yeah, but their grandparents would.
Yeah, I know, but I'm extending that now by like 100,000 years. Their grandparents would, but
generation to generation would
over
conserve it,
time, no, of course not, because no, of course not. Do your kids know what a floppy disk is?
Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah.
Mine don't. Mine know what a cassette is. All right. There are some kids that don't even know what a record is. Right. There are some kids that don't even know what a record is, and that is technology that kind of is, well, it's still around a bit, but kind of went out of fashion, let's say 20 years ago. So you think of technology that went out of fashion 100,000 years ago. There's no way that message it gets lost over time. I don't know. Listen, guys, call me crazy, but I'm really starting to come round to think that we're going to find stuff on Mars that is going to blow this thing wide open. I really do. I'm excited by it. I'm very excited. May not be in my lifetime, but I might have to...
But at some point, when I'm very old, I'm going to get a phone call from someone who says, "I just pwned you."
I just pwned you, Cass! Remember that? I'm going to be an old American man. No, I might have to get that Eric von Daniken book again and have a little look-see in that. Because there's... and as I was thinking it, I tell you what, here's the thing, right? As I was thinking it just felt right. No.
Oh, wow.
It just felt right. As though my DNA had aligned with my heritage, with my cultural heritage.
The voices of the past are going, "Yes, Ian, yes."
Yeah, you're being a twat.
Well, we started the show with someone saying that he was concerned about the fist of God.
Yeah, that was not me. That was Jonathan.
Yep. Well.
Yeah. And now I'm saying...
we're ending with this particular
Yeah.
theory. So it's been a kind of interesting circle.
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
We had more phone calls this hour than I think we did in the second hour of the show
They're
proper.
surprised, delighted, and they want to check that we're not recordings.
We're not. Dear listener, I hope you've enjoyed this. Well, I think we're going to... 53 minutes, I think, is enough.
I'm going to charge for an hour.
Yeah, of course. Oh, God. If you want me to talk for another 7 minutes so you can go for the full hour, I can do that. Listen, this has been I don't think this has ever happened on British radio. Apparently they do it on American radio, where it's a bit more open-ended. But this, I hope you've enjoyed this. I've enjoyed it. I just thought the vibe was right, tonight. Spread the word. We'll have a little chat with our boss tomorrow, make sure he gives it the thumbs up. I can't see why he wouldn't. Don't see why he would be disparaging about this. I think it's been charming. I think it's been lovely. I think we've, explored a few ideas that perhaps, we'll just go over to Talk Sport. It doesn't matter if it's a little bit clunky, Sam. Don't worry. Yeah, I think it's been an experiment well worth doing. I've enjoyed this. It's felt a little bit... The last hour's felt a little bit naughty.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just felt a little bit naughty.
It's like being locked in the shop overnight.
Yeah. So we might do this again. We'll have a little chat with the boss tomorrow and we'll see what he says. Do tweet at Talk Radio with nice things, or you can email Denny Morris if you want and tell him that you enjoyed it. If you stuck around, thank you very much. If you didn't stick around, if you switched off at 1 o'clock because you thought that was the end of the show, Yabu sucks on you, honey. What we're going to do now is we're going to do a rather clunky... We normally simulcast with Talk Sport at this time of night, so we're going to do a clunky, not even a handover. I'll stop talking and you'll hear them talking about football. Thank you, Sam, for sticking around. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you to everyone who called. My name is Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio, and it's now you're going to hear Talk Sport. Night night.